speaking of maps and picks and bans, let's actually go ahead and show them here because you're right, Mimi, OPTIC get the opportunity to ban 2. That is going to be their advantage in the winners portion of the bracket. They get to ban 2 maps, and they are going to get rid of Split and Icebox. We have Fracture for another OPTIC pick because they get that first pick. Then it will be Haven, which was XSET's pick, Bind, then Ascent, and Breeze if necessary. Mimi, how you feel about this series layout?
I mean, OPTIC pretty much gets to get rid of the 2 most comfortable maps that XSET likes to play. They're great at Icebox, they're great at Split. They banned Split in the previous series, but Icebox now will be gone as well. That means that Fracture stays open. Normally, XSET is banning that. They don't like to play on this map, and it is a home ground for OPTIC.
Yeah. I mean, looking at just the first 3 maps, these are all great maps for OPTIC, especially Bind being at number 3. I think OPTIC is one of the best Bind teams in the world. Yeah. Not to discredit XSET, they are a great Bind team as well, but OPTIC just has that little oomph that pushes them over all the other teams. I mean, I think if XSET wants to come out swinging, they have to take map 1.
Yeah. What's scary to me as well with that Binds pick for OPTIC, they floated it all the way to the end of the series. It was the last map in the first time these 2 teams were facing. Them picking it early makes me think OPTIC is setting this up, that they've had time to make a change to their bind, pull out something spicy, and force XSET to be unprepared with that pick coming through so early in the series.
Very interesting situation that we find ourselves in. OPTIC have set themselves up to potentially win 3-0 here, but if there's one thing that we know about XSET is that you simply cannot count out this very hungry team. They could surprise us all here today, and OPTIC need to be prepared for that as well. But the first match is going to be Fracture. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to get into the agent select, send it right to your casters, and jump into the action. This is VCT Challengers. We'll see you soon. Here it is, folks. It's grand finals time. OPTIC Gaming facing off against XSET to determine a lot for both of these teams. A first-seeded opportunity for OPTIC Gaming in Masters and a champions qualification for XSET if they walk away as the winners of this best-of-5. Agent selects underway. The first map is going to be Fracture, Mimi, and this is something that we have XSET, like I hope XSET have been preparing this moment because you had to have known that if OPTIC had this advantage.
Okay, they're making a change. Second is going to the Neon. They're taking that same fast-paced comp that OPTIC has defined here in North America. They stole that one from Europe, took it here, and have been implementing it so incredibly well. Traditionally, XSET play onto the Raze in this map, and that will actually be the only change through in their composition.
All I'm saying is this is going to be the most hype match we're ever going to see. We got 2 Neons on Fracture, such a fast-playing map. We got Breaches, KO on the OPTIC side. Like, this is going to be a lot of fast-paced plays.
I like OPTIC, though, because they're going to have a few more utility options with the KO. What does BCJ on the Sage bring to the table here?
Being able to take through Arcade and kind of split B by walling off Gen so you can take site safely is a really common strat. Being able to just A-pop and do the safe wall to get on site that way is also really big. Just walling out B main. There's so many, it just helps you get on site safer, also slowing down the game on defense. But also KO for OPTIC lets you flash through the Neon wall and kind of like have more poppy plays.
That's what I was going to bring up. Also, that knife can be really good to shut down some of those Neon set plays. It's throwing a wrench in whatever XSET has prepared.
All right, well, you heard it from our analysts. I don't want to get predictions. I don't want to do it because we've been wrong all weekend. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to bring up the casters on the giant screen behind us. Okay, it's 2 of my favorite people in the world is Rivington and Van Silly. Call the action, gentlemen. The floor is yours. Have fun.
Thank you so much. By the way, big shout out to Valen as well. Been kicking ass this whole weekend on the desk here for the VCTs, but I'm super stoked for this grand finals. There's still a lot on the line between these 2 teams. They've mentioned it on the desk, Riv, but at the same time, it's XSET. They still have something to prove. And in this storyline that you're looking at OPTIC, where the desks have mentioned, they've always been that type of team that loses and is able to come back in a tournament and they learn from their mistakes.
The lower round third has been plaguing them for so long, right?
Exactly. Now it's time for XSET to do that, right? It's XSET's the old envy trying to beat OPTIC, the current Sentinels pretty much from 2020, 2021. So what does XSET have in store? What have they studied? And it starts off really well. They have a Neon in their comp.
Well, they were talking a little bit about trap plays earlier. Fracture's one of those maps you can really employ a few on. Arcade's already been taken over here by Victor as he takes site too and lets the rest of the team just pile on in. You can see that XSET was already setting up for an A trap. They were looking to collapse on Halls. Now
Correct.
it's going to be this big rotation. Everybody coming from tree.
But there's a lot of players waiting there at the tree staircase, and that's Ye with the first blood. But because we have so many numbers from XSET, we have a lot of trades. But Ye, that's a hat trick already. Out of bullets of the Headhunter, out with the classic stun, and Zekin slides in for the kill on a 2 versus 2. Still a Neon versus Neon. Zekin and Cryo, the duo of this team to try to clutch it now for XSET. At the generator, Cryo answers back. Headhunter himself, as on a 2 versus 1, crashes and gets stopped away. And we are starting off this matchup with both of these chambers going at it between XSET and OPTIC.
And they're going to prioritize that chamber ultimate. What a patient retake from XSET. It looked like OPTIC in with all of the utility behind Victor coming in from Arcade. They swarm the site, and XSET was breathing just sigh of confidence. They come in with that big push towards the south side of the map. In this retake, Cryo opening up so much for the team, and he's been stepping up so much. Vansili to there, probably should not have gotten within the crossfire, but he still finds it.
And even Ye came up huge on that staircase on tree.
Yeah.
And somehow just dropped 3 players, and you thought he was going to be OPTIC. I mean, you had a couple of players already inside the site setting up for the pulse plan, and yet they still lose it. But speaking of the action, it will never stop because you had the fast pace of Neon coming in. It's OPTIC not letting off the pace. They actually went for a force buy into this round. They try to look for some early control into Sands for a fake, as 2 more players are lurking up towards the B. But nobody's there from XSET. They're ready to play the retake no matter what.
You love that OPTIC bought with that spike plant down. Pushing in. Everything's fake towards A. Almost bought by XSET. They were setting up for a north side push. They now set themselves up. Fans, Cryo still hiding in tower, and it's not checked.
That's what happens when you don't check it, and BCJ's helping up the crossfire from the generator down towards the underpass. It's still going to be XSET taking the upper hand with should have been like an even gun round for both of these teams, as we mentioned before. It's been a force buy for OPTIC, and FNS is on his own. Thankfully, Elisa Spike hasn't landed into this round as well, so that's a little bit of a silver lining into that round. But that's still a very strong hold from XSET in round number 2.
Already seeing the strat. Second round strat from OPTIC to force XSET to A, but XSET's playing very safe, and they're very happy to play retake here. We see how calm they've done it for 2 rounds. That's their focus so far. They've gone for some pretty big pushes towards the south and the north side in the first 2 rounds, but have always been able to collapse back onto OPTIC. We'll see what this next round brings for us. Obviously, OPTIC's going to be a bit down in money here.
Well, I still like the plan. The hero rifle for Ye. Lots of players down towards tree. Potentially, if Ye could get an opener, if not, capitalize on an orb, and he'll have Tilda Fuss in the next round in a gun round for OPTIC. So the economy is still pretty good there for the attacker, but they are trying to go for a split early into the round with some pressure towards the arcade.
Slow pushing in. Already collapsed by XSET here towards the top side of the map. And they've chosen it. They're going to start pinching towards B. Cryo starts off with Victor.
They found my trap.
Meanwhile, though, we've broken the trademark on the other end of the map, but Aaron goes for that flank with Zekin, and they're just closing in on the arcade. It's not working out. Even the hero rifle cannot even get one for Ye at this point, and there's only one more to go. He only has a sheriff. It's Marv, cannot be ice cold this time. It's a prime gaming flawless for XSET.
And that's the way XSET needs to get through those rounds. About 70 damage or so onto Zekin. It's a flawless overall. Everything XSET can get out of these rounds, they're going to need, because OPTIC always finds that way back in. They start to read the map. They'll dodge your set plays and your traps, and they just figure out a way. I mean, this team, since inception, has found their way to every grand finals they've been asked to get to, right? Stage 1, Reykjavik, and now. It's unparalleled consistency, and you always have to be afraid of what OPTIC can do. Here, a 4th round, still on some light buys from just the bonus, XSET. And they defend a big B hit.
There's the idea of the slow works, just to try to slow down the fast lane and also the high gear of the Neon into the B site. But you currently see from this minimap, everybody from OPTIC setting up for the post plant. But somehow BCJ still gets first blood into this round. Now that Spike's planted, he's still looking for some action. He gets it up towards Heaven as they're closing in onto Marv. He's going to have to anchor it in. It's a 4 versus 2 in favor of the defenders, but it's still going to be some trays going back and forth. Can Ye get the clutch? Cannot. And second so far here, Riv, as XSET are 4-0, has not stopped. running around this map. He's not playing scared at all in this defender half.
He's not, and he's kind of like a team sentry right now. He is an owl drone for everybody, back and forth, figuring out what that OPTIC play is, because OPTIC seems to be a little hit and go now. We already saw a second round force buy that was hitting A, back to B. Here, we see them running right into the site, and Zekin backs off, doesn't initially take the fight. Again, XSET retake. OPTIC down to a low buy again. And now it's about them seeing if they can do damage in one of these rounds, because the gun rounds aren't hitting. Can they start to scratch away at this XSET economy? Push forward. A good read here by OPTIC, as they do feel like XSET's going to keep playing aggressive. They look to anti this.
Yeah. Still at a counter going in from relay bolts from Zekin to get just by the orb at the A-holes. And that said, look at who's helping him. Def moving forward with the flash and the assist. A triple going for both of them combined. Leaving already crashes on his own. And if it happened that Zekin was in heavy trouble, still another relay bolt was available, still a rolling thunder. These guys had the A-holes unlocked. Now Crashes is on his own and is trying to go for the underhand flash, but another one of those cool moments where if there's a smoke, play in it, because most likely there's going to be a KO in there, and Cryo greets him, and to get 5 on the board for XSET.
What a read from XSET to get Zekin here. Zekin had the fault line behind him, so even if Zekin gets hit with the opposing fault line, still safe to say he knows no one's coming around the corner, and they wait out the push. Last round was a B from OPTIC. As we said, they've been going back and forth, and XSET planned so perfectly for an A-Halls hit there. 7 frags altogether here for OPTIC as they call a timeout. They cannot seem to get into these positions to land a shot. And like we said, it's been retakes. So XSET has been re-swarming these sites with such utility. OPTIC isn't finding the returns.
Yeah, they're trying to get something on the board, right? And we see a couple of people, on the internet talking about this roster for OPTIC. A lot of the eggs in the basket of trying to activate Victor for these first bloods and trying to get something done. And this gives a chance buttons a bit, because BCJ playing onto this stage, they have less flashes because they don't have the KO, so it's not necessarily the OPTIC comp, but you have to give it as to how Psycho and the rest of the coaching staff really goes into studying and trying to anti-strike their opponents. I think at some point they wanted to leave Fracture in this map rotation so they could have this stage to go head-to-head against Victor.
Exactly. Like, the fact that Fracture's here, they're 5-0, Zekin's 7-0. They had a plan, right?
True.
They had a plan coming in. This is a different XSET that's not just going to feel like the wheelhouse comp is great. We've used it for a few tournaments. We can make it work this time. No, they're switching things up. And man, is it working so far. We're coming up on ult around the map. Cryo's going to make sure that one counts. Zekin!
That's insane.
Oh my God, what a play from Tree. Gets one all the way across the map, and now the smokes are gone for OPTIC. Well, good luck getting in.
The macro there for XSET. Push as much as you can and try to force OPTIC, into the duel de force out of Cryo. So the amount of utility that's thrown towards the tree, forcing everybody back towards the A-holes and going for a split into Dish. OPTIC gets greeted by that off, and they're already at a player disadvantage. And now that we're getting into the mid-round, you could see that XSET, it changed the pace a little bit. They don't want to crunch in anymore. They still just have Zekin going around to try to find all that information as he can. And this now, as he picks up an operator here on the defender side, OPTIC really has not gained any ground at all. You have 4 points of entries on this map right now on two different sites. Riv and OPTIC are still pretty much at 1 quarter only.
The end with an off. Here we go. Oh, Crashies takes him. So, as much damage as they can do from behind here, Cryo, they have ultimates for next round. They have Crashy's ultimate. They have FNS's, Finesse is keeping it right now. He'll probably just try to get the spike down. So, it could be a turnaround for next round. Light at the end of the tunnel there, because it's almost another flawless for XSET. They are winning these rounds so healthy, with so much economy. It's actually absurd for what we've expected here coming into the grand finals, especially for the Fracture map. But yeah, these pushes, this wall coming up, BCJ, Zekin working a little combo there at the end of 3. The push in as Zekin just goes for the lazy wide swing and catches Ye off guard. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And they're running the map right now. And can they still do it? I mentioned the Ultimates fans. They have 3 big ones for OPTIC here.
Yeah, you mentioned the economy for XSET. They have been dominating in terms of that side. And we'll talk about that in a bit. This is an eco round for OPTIC. We can talk about it now because it's already a 4 versus 1. And I don't know if we saw the bingo card up for today, but if it's the song not coming up, at least you have the money in the bank for the amount of credits that you have available for XSET and how they still keep winning these rounds on so many players alive. At the
Who
end.
found the playbook?
It's
Who
crazy.
found the, literally.
It's Psycho, it's
Do they
Death.
have OPTIC's playbook right now? Another anti towards Arcade here. They call it. Look, they wall down Tree so they can focus all of this. It's like XSET went from saying, hey, we'll play retake. OPTIC's going to fly in with Victor and plant to let's just put up a wall, not let them in. And again, there it is, 7-0. OPTIC are going to be guns next round, but XSET has their number.
You've mentioned the at least economy in terms of ultimates for OPTIC. The last time that they had 3 on that previous round, they were only working with pistols. This is a great opportunity to get the first one on the board.
It's true.
I'm still going to discount the overdrive from Victor because I still haven't seen Victor get a kill with an overdrive yet. So the Rolling Thunder and also the Orbital Strike will be kind of huge right now for OPTIC trying to get into any of these sites right now, or at least try to break any type of defense. But this Neon again from Zekin probably could find ways to get that timing, to get outside of all those ultimates. And it starts with the overdrive.
Zekin may answer your call and be first. He goes down, though. OPTIC's ready to absorb now, right? They're like, okay, wait a minute. XSET has been pushing us. Let's play off that conditioning.
I like that.
We'll figure out how to take him out exactly. Like, what do you do to an aggressive team? You hold the angles and you operate. Boom. Yeah, he picks up a frag there. And now they can decide where to go. Numbers finally in their favor, I think, for one of the first rounds here in the first half on OPTIC's side.
Able to do this without wasting a single ult, as we are now moving into a split onto B for OPTIC. 2 players remaining for XSET, both really just trying to hold as much as they can towards the A site, but now Cryo is going to try to go for the hero play. There's a smoke on the ground. He's trying to get a pick if anybody's going to push towards the spawn for OPTIC. And meanwhile, Aaron's moving in, but the clock is dwindling down. We still have an orbital strike, and finally we use the moment. A lot of time left, so you're not going to use your orbital strike out for Aaron. You want to save it into the next round, but there was a moment that if you're still too cautious for OPTIC and the clock's running down, you could definitely try to use it on the defender side.
This is, everything spells a good way for OPTIC to turn this around. I mean, really nice just shots overall to start that off. They had to figure out a way to slow down XSET's pace there, and it was to just wait it out. But to be this healthy going into the next round, it's going to feel good. Aaron tries to tag down on that econ. It's going to hurt a little bit. Oh my, actually, this is huge. Okay. One more act would just cripple OPTIC, honestly. It becomes so tough because they're only getting 3K right now, 300 and whoever you killed. So see if they can come in for a next one. The buys still see some light armor around. Util will be full, but this has to be basically the rounds that OPTIC comes in to win, and OPTIC knows it. XSET knows it. They call a timeout.
And you saw the respect given there from Marv after Aaron got that second kill, because usually OPTIC is kind of really known for, you know, trying to go for those fast trades, moving in as a team. I mean, XSET's been doing that, actually, if you've been watching that game versus FaZe, where they're just really running it down in their retakes on, especially a set. That said, though, after Marv sees that 2 of his teammates fell down, it's like, oh, let me just backpedal for a bit, play the angle instead, do the crosshair placement, and get the kill onto Aaron. So you're starting to see, okay, OPTIC gets the first point on the board, but the timeout's already called out. We want to make sure here that we're going to shut down any type of momentum early against OPTIC. And that's been the game plan for XSET going into, you know, the last rematch that they had versus OPTIC too. They came out swinging really quickly, dominated the first map. Who knows what's going to happen for the rest of this BO5.
Absolutely. And the scoreboard right now is reminiscent, I think, of XSET's second half on Haven when they played OPTIC and they attacked. They get every round in a row. Now they're doing it on defense. So varying up how they're actually playing that attack defensive style and map to map here. Showing us that they can attack from that defensive side at 7-1 so far. Switching some weapons around, purchases happening on the side of XSET, so they keep that money nice and even. And again, a pivotal round here as OPTIC try to push towards A. A little bit of flank watch here, but it looks like they're going to try to pinch in for both sides with the majority coming from Satellite. They have the option to back up here. I don't think they got enough util, at least what they wanted to hear from XSET. They're being so patient.
Even for XSET, as you mentioned, the patience, they wall up A holes. They also have Cryo just opping towards Dish. Still, even if the trap is there, he's just watching it so that the players can still stack towards the B site. So if it comes into a fake for OPTIC and they rotate back through Arcade, they're still going to be met up with a lot of opposition. This time, though, you can see now that BCJ is running back. He still has a slow orb to work with. So if this trap gets broken, he could actually support Cryo with the slow orb. But no, he's gambling that B. Great opportunity right now for Optic to get in. And that's 2 ultimates to move into the site, and Cryo immediately gets taken down because he was nullified by the null command.
Marv still has ultimate. They have a big post plant here. Only one's in sight. The extremities could easily be found here, but Optic does have some pretty good positioning on the entry.
Rolling Thunder, though, answered back. Orbital strike on the
gosh,
attack,
the walls.
not allowing anybody to move in, and also dropping Aaron. And FNS runs in to drop Zekin. Again, talking about that timing, and the post plant looks perfect for Optic as they get that round. Again, nice ultimate versus ultimate, and Optic put 2 on the board.
We said the ultis would become big in a few of these rounds here. Nicely played. And they caught XSET off guard because they played it even slower, right? The XSET calls a timeout, probably going to see a trap play coming. Why would Optic do anything tough, right? Why would they push themselves into any position where XSET's going to be set up and garrisoned? So a nice job by XSET to kind of read the room in that situation. Play it slow. I mean, the movement from Ye was non-existent, right? He held his angle, waiting for a push with a trademark behind as we have a quick tech pause here. So we'll see what comes out of this, but Optic doing a really nice job. That's kind of the first time they work just into like a satellite control, into a, usually they've been trying to hit a site and go to the other, so nicely done there.
Now it's our turn to actually go with the pauses and the tech pauses. I just heard in my ears. It's a slight tech pause. Sorry, they're gonna have. Don't worry, their computers are still working. There's no 150 degrees Fahrenheit in terms of where the teams are playing. We should be fine here, and we should be able to resume quite soon. But again, this is actually something that kind of sucks, though, if you're a fan of XSET or even a player of XSET yourself, because you're on a huge momentum in the first 5 rounds, 6 rounds, where you just pedal to the metal, Zekin with the flanks, going with the team play, and also shutting down Optic. But now with these timeouts back and forth and a slight one here, you want to make sure that the mental stays strong right now for XSET, that you have the titanium mental of Van Silly, and that you could actually continue the lead that you have built up on your defender half.
The titanium Van Sus. I can't. I can't fathom.
I've lost it.
I really
for a bit.
can't.
I've lost it for a bit recently.
Counterplay from both sides here. They're trying to just run right into each other face to face. It looks like they actually just divide each other enough to create a no man's land. No fight comes out of this just yet as Victor still tempting fate here. They draw more utility, though. So Optic go from sitting back to pressure play right into A Halls here, and they're still stuck.
That is so crazy. They actually flashed into from Halls, and then it's still Zekin that slides into Sand and catches one off guard. And that's just well done under the defender. Hold Ye falls down, and that duel between Zekin and Ye continues to ring. Meanwhile, a shot of an operator is being rang, but we still have a 4 versus 4.
Yeah. Little variation of how they played that wall, too. Cryo getting up instead of Zekin this time, so divvying up where the attack can come from, but still utilizing that Sage tech to peek on tree when they know it isn't being hit hard. Optic cut audio. They're still going to have a pinch. This is what worked for them last time. They're just out of Ye. Marv has 2 smokes left, still possible to come in. He's going to make sure they block spawn, and Def is waiting. Oh, but he gets caught. Util out.
Victor is in now, taking cover and control of the A site. Teammates are following up with him too. Only 3 players alive now for the defender side of XSET as they're trying to go for this retake, clearing Halls together first. So at least on the Optic side, they're going to hear the doors opening. So yeah, okay, at least presence of 1 player towards A Halls. Let's have somebody look at that, and that's going to be FNS. Nobody's playing a pulse plant towards the Halls. We're just tucked in here for the Optic crossfire on the A site. High lows, left and rights, and finally Aaron is closing in. He will not see the 3rd player and almost gets that shot, but it's Crashy's inside that site, lands another one to Zekin. It looked good for a point for that retake for XSET, but it's still Optic that's able to maintain their composure to get the round.
Okay, so I feel like Optic, either whether in the tech pause or one of their pause, it was just to take a deep breath, calm down. The fundamental play has just, it's way more locked in already from Optic. Before we were seeing XSET just be able to swarm retakes, get the utility out, Cryo headhunter peeking. Optic had crossfires there, nice setups, trade after trade, really could have anchored each other if necessary, and just breaking it down there. Again, a slow play towards A, though. We'll see how XSET may react to this now. Switching it up one more time. They're actually just going to keep Chamber and Sage over here at A. And now they wall off another side of the map. VCJ's been doing this just so they don't have to worry, but OPTIC make it a problem right away again.
Yeah. And it's BCJ trying to do as much as he can with his utility of Sage, but the interesting part is that everybody from XSET are still holding towards B. And look how they're playing. They give up the halls. They're giving up the A site. They're trying to clear out at least towards the north side of the site, of the map, so they could re-clear on a retake from spawn, from defender spawn, and also from drop.
This looks like it's going to be smoke out, no sand rush. Maybe they still go sand. Victor looks like he wants the fast lane himself. They have great positioning for this on the side of OPTIC. They've actually waited out the separation of XSET really, really well here. And A has been where OPTIC's finding the rounds. They don't want to try it any other way. Don't broke it. Or don't fix it if it's not broken.
Oh my God.
And Marv is going to fix it a little bit more there. Nicely done.
Yeah, you got to love those shots, at least from the point of view of Marv, but you're going to hate it on a receiving end from BCJ. I hate getting killed through smokes, so I can't imagine at the pro level when OPTIC is slowly coming back into the game as well. The plant coming in for a long, and this time we have players watching from the A-halls playing the post plant. The duel of the Ye versus Cryo, Chamber versus Chamber, is won by Ye, and now OPTIC are ahead by 2 players. Zekin is close with Aaron in depth. They have no ultimates to go for the retake, so it's on to Util. You see the aftershocks and the fault line coming in. FNS is still holding his own fault line to drop towards the drop, and we could go for a swing, but they're just going to run the clock down for OPTIC. Things are looking great for them right now, and yeah, this is not working out. Even Aaron's trying to save his weapon, but FNS is chasing after him. Only 1 player to go, and that's Def. He's going to be able to save here as that breach, but it's still OPTIC now, putting 4 points on the board. So this timeout that came out, Riv, actually came out in favor of OPTIC after the exit call, and if you want to think about this, now OPTIC have won, what, 4 of the 5 full gun rounds of this matchup. Clearly because of that force buy that they got in that second round kind of screwed with their economy where XSET was able to run away with this. But now, we have a game in our hands.
Yeah, OPTIC, I think, figuring out, really, nobody's playing in A. They will have A if they smoke, if they play to it at a certain point to a mid and late round. That's what they've been going back to over and over again. They didn't even bother with Satellite that time, knowing that's probably where XSET's going to be setting up defense since they aren't in the site. Yeah. So really nice job of OPTIC kind of playing off that precedent being set. Here we still see the wall going from side to side with XSET to cut off one side of the map. And that, I guess, makes it a little easier, right? We saw them being able to get a nice arcade push and anti-strat on that previously. But the flow of the game has changed. XSET went from pushing to waiting back. The double timing.
I was going to say, the positioning you had from OPTIC at the beginning of the round was trying to figure out where that tap of the orb was coming from because they had players on every quadrant of the attacker side. Then after they ping out that it's okay, Cryo playing with the operator, grabbing the orb on B, they still wanted to challenge and fight it. Although an op shot is missed, it's still going to be a battle towards A hulls between these 2 players. Who's winning it so far? It's going to be even. But XSET has given up the drop. Now we've moved in. Aaron's trying to hold Sands. Another trade-off as we have a 3 versus 3. We have a KO ult from Crashies, though, who pushes towards the spawn and gets the headshot to Cryo. Yay, continuing with the Jiggle Peaks against Def's own Jiggle Peak, and he wins that one too. So BCJ is going to be on his own. Does have a res, though. This allows Cryo to come back up, but he has, after the Toll de False, only a judge. And can they get it? They still have a slow orb as well. They still have a heal. Trying to leverage Cryo cells here with the operator on the defense as they're both moving in together.
A lot of util on the side of OPTIC.
And that, there you go. The first one being the fault line, and the other rest of the utility is Crashes full kit. And Cryo still gets the bait and switch kill on Ye. A 2 versus 2. Crashes holds towards the sands, drops the last 2 players in Riverton. We're getting to a point where it was 7-1, and now somehow OPTIC has made it 7-5. And now can they continue the run? Can XSET maintain their composure? We'll find out after the break. So we're finally starting off this series with a banger. 7-5 ending the first half of this first map on Fracture. XSET and OPTIC head-to-head have actually never won 2 pistol rounds in a row in a map. So technically right now, if XSET won the pistol, can we now see a potential 7-7 with OPTIC winning this one here, Riv?
I don't know. XSET's up up by 1 right now, and pissed. If they win this, they make history between these two teams. It's crazy to think about, though, that nobody... Oh, Ye says, we'll take this one. Tries to even out the score already. A little push towards tree here. Nothing's going to be towards the north side of the map, but it is covered by XSET. So they want a full push in through arcade here and still pinch towards B. They just want to do it from a different angle.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give up his space. So he wants to continue to push down towards tree. And when he leaned up before, he saw one, but didn't see the others. So cannot really do the call out that there's players towards arcade until that jiggle peek comes out here from Crashy. So these are going to be not bad to have Ye set up here to help. There is that slide coming in from Zekin. A pinch very soon from the back end, and that's Aaron with a kill from a Frenzy. And another one, it's another Frenzy, but it's an underhand throw from Crashy to be able to stay alive for a bit until he's greeted by Def on the other end. So pinch after pinch. XSET opens up the B site, but it's a 3 versus 3. We don't want to let it. We want to give the space for OPTIC. We're already going with a flash and a simultaneous triple kill for everybody from OPTIC. And there you go. They've won the pistol.
What?
Yeah.
That was really...
That was so fast that I tongue twisted a simultaneous triple kill. That's pretty insane how fast that went.
I was about to say, I really felt bad for that side of Crashy because he just was running around, like, trying to get away from a blind or in utility, runs into Def, who could have blinded him, and then OPTIC just come out with the tear there on the retake. Very nicely done. And XSET, they had sight, right? I think they just got caught off guard. That pace of OPTIC was very unexpected. We're getting into the Spectre realm here. Save from Ye, he's going to go 8-head Hunter. They have money for these next rounds here as we get the Unbreakable. 0 point to be thrown out early from Crashies. Boop.
Great info.
Quite a few.
That's 3 players out there, and of course they heard the dash coming in from Zekin, so OPTIC are pretty much ready for this at least. And that allows Ye to push down 2 and take control of tree. Very difficult right now for XSET to get anything done into their second round, but that said, they're not a team that's going to go into a force buy this time here, just with pistols and trying to make some noise. And Ye, it's his turn. No TPs available. He just wants to look for the information and kills with the headhunters if possible. He does manage to get a body shot onto Def and fall back here into B site, as Def also gets the heal from BCJ.
Oh my god, XSET walk away from A caves. I mean, look at this stun setup on the side of OPTIC that's just ready for A halls. Oh no, they're walking back to it, but they did separate.
Wait.
Oh, the timing right now of XSET's creep. FNS takes down Def to start things off.
Cryo made it through spawn, though.
That was so quick.
So they're going to pinch back towards A site. And Marv could be in a position... There you go. Marv just owns. No smokes to prevent anymore. At least he got one down towards A main. So that will give a little bit of cover as the rest are trying to trickle in towards A site. The wall comes up on the attack too. But as they run out, as I mentioned before, very hard for them to hold it and try to run with no information through the smoke. Thankfully, they stopped the bleeding early because look at the HP that was left for 2 players for OPTIC after Marv has died.
They almost got OPTIC to anti-strat themselves. Like, XSET waited so long, OPTIC's like, wait a minute. They could have a really good hit. We need to separate. We need to at least play leaning towards the middle of the map, and we saw them start to break apart. It just did not work out. 7-7 here. So OPTIC tie it back up with the pistols, though. We do keep it even. That's interesting. No team has ever been able to win both pistols between these two. Maybe next map. There's still time. Heading into our 15th round here. It looks like it is going to be a little bit of a push from Ye, actually, as they take Satellite and Hall's control. They're going to see if they can catch XSET off guard.
Yeah. I mean, OPTIC's already gambling for the rotate from FNS into B site because...
No.
That 0 point spotted nobody at the beginning of the round there towards the A hole, so they were ready to try to go for something here with a lurk from Ye again, but this time it's met up and waited by Def on Dish.
Nice to find out early that you'll find Ye on your flank. You're like, oh yeah, he's still gonna do it this game, as per usual. There's
right here.
Trademark in A is actually gone now, so if this was gonna be a rotate back at 40 seconds, they easily can get back into A site, no coverage. And they've waited long enough. XSET is playing these rounds out right now. Usually they're contact a lot. Now it's going to be util. Looks like they will take B. Van Silly. What a stun!
Oh my god, and Marv is just running and dancing through the walls here just so he can stay alive. But yeah, Everything gets broken up right after. Fastlane coming out, knowing that's actually not spotted, but then after that, Cryos looking behind at Arcade. He heard the dashes coming in from Victor. And I was going to say, like, a change of pace, different types of lurks that you have between like XSET and OPTIC. You saw on the defense for XSET, it was Zekin trying to run around and find that information. For OPTIC on their end on defense, it's still trying to activate Ye on first blood with solo plays.
Right.
And instead of having Victor trying to play these flanks. So you see how, like, you know, when we commended OPTIC when they first came out with this comp, it's all about the utility that they could have available for retakes. But then that playstyle doesn't seem to match up too well with how XSET is playing.
Buying up here, Victor with the Spectre. You will have Tour de Force coming up next round for Ye. Actually, he's going to go ahead and grab an orb.
Yeah, it allows him to get the Tour de Force here. And now a little bit of a high-low from the boxes of Arcade to Heaven. That's perfect for Crashies and for Marved. As the rest of XSET are grouping up here for a huge hit towards the A site. This Tour de Force that was picked up, and Ye pull up the superstar play. Not gonna happen. Look at the amount of stuns that are coming out. Zekin going for the spray with the Bulldog and goes for the Neon Dip onto Victor. Ye, though, again, we talked about his Tour de Force towards A main. Now he's getting stunned, forced to TP away, but this is still a time killer to allow OPTIC to rotate back from defender spawn. Now we have FNS to group up with them. The flash comes out. They're trying to refight towards his side, but Aaron gets the headshot onto Ye. And now that operator, the biggest gun that they had, falls down. At least they still have the Vandal that they picked up on the other end, and that's Marv that gets the kill. Back to a 2 versus 2 somehow, then to a 1v1. Death, the IGL, stopped by Marv, who comes in for the defuse. And it is going to be an 8-8 scoreline, and now it's time to fight back and forth in the second half.
Yeah, you know who's calling the shots on that one for IGL's Marv's his clutch. Always been in clutch, loves it. He's the penalty shooter. Get that guy in the last part of the round. He is always coming out on top. A lot of ultimates on deck for XSET here. We did see the Tour de Force last round, but OPTIC is folding their economy over nicely here. Operators and weapons for themselves. We'll see what the play might be. We haven't seen too many set plays from the side of OPTIC. They've been waiting quite a bit. I think that's what XSET is waiting to diffuse.
Yeah.
The longer they wait, OPTIC set plays, their antis, the stuns that they might be setting up at A, kind of fizzle out, and then OPTIC like to hit. We'll see how long they take again on this one. OPTIC again take that satellite control, and they just keep some hard angles to Arcade and down towards B.
So I talked about battles going back and forth, but if you're actually paying attention to the history of this map, it's been 7 rounds in a row for XSET. Now 7 rounds in a row won by OPTIC. So can OPTIC actually continue this as they've been on the run since the first half? We'll soon find out as they're ready to go for a pop flash contact off this trademark. But it has been pinged out by XSET, so they could try to work something here and try to counter that right away. That's Zekin to try to watch towards the staircase. 2 players with him to help out. But this pinch is coming back. There's a smoke on the ground. They're going to try to edge it across here for the defender. It doesn't work out. Carl's watching that flank. It's traded at least. Will they hunt him down right after? No, we're just trying to battle back and get information for OPTIC as well. Or we're just holding our grounds. 40 seconds left on the clock. We've also retreated back for OPTIC into A.
Oh, yay. Is he in range of a rendezvous? Looks like, oh, they're going back. It's going to be the Rolling Thunder to see if there is still a push, but also straight towards Satellite here. And they're going to try to lock in an A plant. Vance, another round where over a minute ticks by without too much action, and then everything explodes.
That's exactly it, but they also have the orbital strike, and I thought it was going to be Mar trying to run away and play at least a denial with the orbital strike, but Zekin goes to work with 2 headshots right there. And finally, their rounds have turned back in favor of XSET. A plant towards A main, still 5 players alive, and yeah, Zekin got those 2 kills with 2 HP left.
Oh, you see, too, what everything is supposed to be when they get into sight, right? That wall is supposed to be there with some smokes, but Zekin is so many leaps and bounds ahead of the team. He's like, don't worry, got this. Solo mission. Don't pause, press play. Goes into the site, continues to destroy people, like you said, 2 HP. And again, another round, XSET waits out OPTIC. Tries to defuse initial defensive positions, and then hits. And it's a known, right? What's going to happen with this composition? You're not going to just waltz in with a Neon on either squad. So even with the wait in the beginning of the round, you're preparing OPTIC for a fast crush, right? But if that's not followed up after the Rolling Thunder, you might get confused. So XSET really playing to the precedent where this Neon Comp has to go off the utility, except that time they went backwards instead of forwards, and it worked out great.
And it was also this, too. I think from the orbital strike, there's a possibility that the slide or the dash coming in from Zekin wasn't even heard. That maybe even Marv, from the timing of the orbital strike, thought that he actually kept everybody out and back from Dish to be able to drop down, which is why, unfortunately, FNS wasn't ready just under the drop.
Nope.
He wasn't ready.
Not ready.
One of my favorite stand-ups. That said, though, it's, again, a round won by XSET after losing so many in a row, and just from that single round that they have lost from OPTIC after so many that they've stringed up in a row, they have a broken bye.
See what they may put behind that, right? Ultimates for next round. This is going to be ultimate, maybe? Not even. Second goes down right away.
I mean,
one of the rounds that XSET's tried to pull the trigger almost immediately after the wall here, 30 seconds in, but not working.
Yake is also the type of player that's like, you can't run our own strat against us. From last lane to try to execute into B, I'll just swing into the wall and op you. So that's a little bit of a, okay, let's rewind and reassess that the next time we have an opportunity to hit the B site now for XSET.
Yeah. That's true, just as much as the reads from XSET are coming in. OPTIC is playing in the minds of XSET. BCJ with the timing, though, Vance.
That is so good. The wall to creep up on a crouch, waiting for the orbital strike to push the players out. He gets 2 kills. Now this allows XSET to get a plant at default. Stimpack on the ground just to see if he could run away. There you go. He works out. Oh, just for a bit until he gets that kill onto FNS. Again, they have lower weaponry for the defender half, or the defender side, rather. And Crashies and Marv trying to clutch it. Marv is committed. Crashies as well. Closing it now in the front of Generator. The elbow peeks out a little bit too corny. Headshot from Crashies. Now they're going to try to hunt down Cryo. On the top, TT available to swing out with the headshot. Trying to go for the defuse. Can't get it a halfway. And this now should be the round coming in here for XSET, because you cannot win this against Cryo with the way that he's been playing since yesterday. It's 10-8 now for XSET with 2 in a row.
A gift.
Taking into account as well a round for OPTIC where they take down Zekin, and BCJ on stage in the 5v4 is the one to come up with the double kill to turn it around. Like XSET finding their way into these little windows of opportunity to get the win out of some of these rounds. 10-8 here, and it's exactly what they need to do is pressure OPTIC at this point in the game. They're real close to that 13.
It's trying to abuse that setup that you currently have from OPTIC, right? The trademark that they usually set up towards arcade. You have Crashies getting ready to play on contact off that, and XSET were able to slip through that and actually get those openers into B site. Now, OPTIC on a full save. Half shields for a couple of them. And a stack towards A. And it's a gamble stack that may pay off. You have 3 ults to work with. Might even be committed here for the first kill. Fragment onto the ground too, and we have not yet entered into the site, and we actually even overloaded the amount of mollies that are going to go on the ground. And as it dissipates, though, it's going to be the overdrive, and Victor again. Unfortunately, no other kills for you with the overdrive. I was feeling it, man. I thought it was finally going to happen that Victor was going to get an overdrive kill, but it's XSET now at 11.
Literally, that you thought all the mollies were used, and then you saw him just running into even more fault lines and etc. on the floor. Yeah, that got messy. That was a pretty hard hit from both sides, but obviously Gundam coming out in the end here. Nice little peeks. The Rolling Thunder securing it. They actually Rolling Thunder for the eco too. They're like, we're not going to allow you to pull something fancy here through these smokes. XSET is playing for sure to win even those eco rounds where they have numbers up. 3 in favor of XSET here in a row. That is going to give 2,900 to OPTIC on their bye. They should be pretty good with money, and they need to call this timeout to figure out what they can do on the defensive side. XSET changed it up. We saw them waiting, letting OPTIC diffuse in their defensive positioning. Now we see a few faster rounds from XSET where they're pushing up. Zekin has had a terrible time in his fast lane. It's just a lane of pain. He continues to die, but the team follows up. Right, knowing where one opening is. Zekin is traded, the rest of the team comes in, they're playing very well off of anchoring each other and making sure this death ball moves together. That's how they're beating Optic, especially on those eco rounds. Back to a gun round Vans. Operator in the hands of Ye. Hasn't been having the day Ye expects to have on all of his frags and kills, and that's due to Optic being able to find him and take him out.
Yeah, and that's Ye and Victor too, right? 2 winning conditions right here who are
Exactly.
not as dominant as we would expect them to be here on this first map of Fracture, but that's also credit to how XSET has been currently playing a different type of play style that Optic maybe wasn't ready for, with Zekin pulling out this Neon as an ace under the sleeve already in map number 1. That said, now it's also looking at the amount of first bloods that Ye is able to provide here for the team. That also usually results into, of course, a lot of these conversions. And the amount of rounds that they've won, I think, was like 168. When Ye was able to get first blood, is 78 of those of them are converted 5v4. So you really need him to try to help out a little bit more to get these early 5 versus 4, just because Zekin's been just having free roam around the map.
I was going to say, we saw it on that second round. BCJ was like, get your stats out of here. I'm going to tarnish that, right? The 5v4 just did not happen. Here, Optic playing it slow. Looks like they have a lot of flash attack defense happening at B, and they're just looking to delay at A. FNS is in a spot where he would definitely have to just hold his own for a little bit here if they get smoked off.
30 seconds left.
There's going to be a fast lane in. Cut off spawn. Zekin's just going to try and be in their hair for a moment.
A little bit of delay. That actually gets heard. We're going to fight inside that smoke. We actually see the gun, and it's going to be Victor with the wall bang coming in from the B side. Victor lines up with the second one. Aaron falls, the fight towards heaven, and everything is getting held by the Crashies and Victor combo. Leaving one more inside sight. It's only one Zekin that was able to actually not make it inside sight, inside spawn.
Yeah.
But it's still Optic that gets the round.
And we actually got to see the flash attack combo. That didn't have to even be a flash from Crashies, but you see Victor jump out, and Victor looks like he's in trouble. Not so much. Crashies right there to assist him. Boom, sideswipe. Actually, Victor still gets the frag as he's ready for it. But really nicely set up. Crossfire on crossfire. And with XSET using their utilities somewhat around the map to get XSET to move instead of time, Optic wasn't having any of it. They could clean shots right there. 11-9 now as we move forward. XSET money still looking a bit hurt. Or I'm sorry, Optic money looking a bit hurt as XSET could weather another round here, but looks like they're gonna just play it slow. Victor says no slow today.
There you go. A little bit of a change of pace where Victor's doing similar things as Zekin did on the first half. Meanwhile, though, we're trying to answer back. A couple of flashes coming out here on both ends on A halls. FNS has none left. Zekin's able to trade off at least Ye on the other end. Still a player advantage for Optic. Orb is now picked up that allows a res to be available for BCJ. So you already see Def working back towards tree. They're going to try to capitalize on that to bring the res back up. And look at that ping. They're ready for this, or at least they're going to call it out for Optic. So we are actually rotating back that Crashies and Victor duo inside B.
Big res. Impressive to see XSET using a new composition for themselves here on Fracture after having not had too many games recently. Exactly what you want to see in a team heading to an international play. They are going to be heading over towards that A-Hall side here. I wonder if Zekin still goes way ahead of the storm. Fault line comes through. That was from deep halls. Can Zekin make the play alone?
Nope. Not when you're jumping like that. FNS hears it through both of the fast lanes, and Marv gets the wall bang in the two-player stack. Somehow it's a 2 versus 1. The spike is down. Thankfully, a wall is up. Now Def is just going to have to play
giving a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. Now with the fragment, we're trying to break at least one section of that wall. We still have another flash available for Crashies after, and a full kit for Victor. This is going to be very hard for Def to try to hold it into sight. But now that it's planning for A main, they might think that it's there to slide to come in. Def with the headshot. Def like to give back.
Oh,
he gets the headshot out to Crashies. And that is going to be the Red Bull clutch on that 2 versus 1, and that's XSET on that point.
Match point.
That's, if not the biggest round of this series so far. To keep Fracture in XSET's hands, that, like we said, that's going to cripple Optic's economy. They have not been able to amass anything over these last few rounds as XSET continues to do damage even in the rounds that they lose, and those little bits tack on. They matter round after round. Look at that econ here for a last round XSET could possibly force here on game point. Incredible.
And it's fast now for the attack towards Dish. Same thing here as we're fighting back towards Arcade to pick up an orb. Overdrive available for Victor, because that is something that you need. Even if he's not able to get the best success out of it, it's still another extra piece of artillery weapon to keep the round alive here for OPTIC in the first map.
Playing not to lose mentality. It's slow. Still want to win, but don't want to make the wrong move. It looks like it's going to be a waterfall off of drop here. Precarious position for FNS at this point, but we'll see if he can prevail. This is going to be a big one. Oh, he gets shot back from the fast lane.
And that's also an overboard strike.
Oh, my
word.
word.
And FNS, man, he's been caught up by everything pretty much, and he already falls. Ye does have the operator as the smoke is up towards a site, towards the main halls. Spike now planted, everybody pinned inside the A site for XSET. So this allows here for OPTIC to close in, but pay attention, there's going to be a lurk happening very soon. Oh my god, an overdrive kill. That's Victor moving in, fast lane's coming up, and actually Crashy's hears and knows to rotate. Now we have a 3 versus 2, but we're fighting back in a high-low. The wall bang's coming in, and 2 players alone, 1 on each side. And we still have utility, though, from Crashy's. Big out, coming out with the headhunter here, and Crashy's gets the headshot onto Aaron. We're trying to close in for the defuse, and we will get it there. A nice retake after all here for OPTIC, and we are at 12-10.
Oh, a necessary retake for OPTIC there to lose FNS so quick as well. Maybe even a one-and-done position, but to be able to take the rest of XSET out of the site when being a player down, the 5v4 conversion seemed to just be in the opposing team's favor today, Vans. Oh, OPTIC stay alive here in map 1. Victor, we're going to call it because of Victor's kill in his ultimate.
That was an important one to get to. The overdrive finally comes into play, and it's an opportunity for them to get the round, and now XSET forced to call a timeout because they've been in these situations before where they've swung out hard. They came out hard, it came back and forth, and they're so close to closing it, but they just can't. Especially against a team like OPTIC, you really need this timeout right now just to get that mental, reset that mental, and bring that momentum back in your favor.
Right. We need to just find out that it was an international curse that made them lose once they had a big lead. It's not like a thing that continues, right? That's shaken off. New XSET. Absolutely, just brand new, shiny, clean. They call this timeout. Honestly, I think it might be a fast round. They have 1 to play with, and they have the money. Let's actually see what they try to do. Could be a dash from this side. Arcade gets hit with a fault line. Does seem like they're focusing towards that B side first. Switch it up, though.
Hit them fast.
How's the setup for OPTIC look? Looks like they want to crunch actually towards that north side with a flash aggression coming in from Victor. Pop flash over the top. Victor's going to be opping the neon op. Here it is, man. Let's go. Oh, it's a B hit.
It works.
Oh!
They're actually playing a double up setup for OPTIC right now. As you heard the ult come out from EA. Crashy's playing is on the top. It's going to be another 2. A duel towards the arcade to hold it down for OPTIC. But meanwhile, we've opened up the front B site. We're trying to move in. We've pushed inside Canteen too to catch FNS off guard. Spike is now planted. Again, players are pinned inside the site of these holes plants. This is what's good for OPTIC, opening up the opportunities to retake this site, leaving BCG on his own. A 3 versus 1. Smooth front. One's just going to stick it. That's going to be Victor, the one on low HP. And as that wall that was coming up here for BCG for the plant, it was also his detriment as he had to go for a wider swing to try to stop that defuse. And that's OPTIC with another point on the board. And XSET, I don't think that economy is too great. I know they'll have a couple of rifles, but I'm not too sure if the utility is going to be on there.
Yeah, light armor for sure coming in. Excuse me. And the shots, I mean, Victor's a damn Swiss Army knife at this point. What we see him playing recently on the Neon, but it does not stop him from bringing out an operator when they need to get the economy to a point where that could be pivotal, right? It becomes a different style of play, absolutely. You're just dashing to shoot now. You're not dashing forward to make a play. So being able to just interchange that play style on the fly, another reason OPTIC is so good between these members. And now 12-11, Vansili.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff. Like I said, OPTIC can always show you their consistency when it matters.
Now you've given the op back to Ye. We've avoided the 0 point at the beginning of the round for XSET, so you still see it from the radar. We're dancing back and forth between OPTIC, trying to gamble out where this information's coming from. With that first flash, there's potential for players to get ready to work towards A. On the defense for OPTIC, Marv already going on a rotate because of that.
Sand smoke is there. I don't know if they want to take it just yet, though. Until they put down spawn and drop, I think they're just going with this situation. Ye's going to be holding that operator. Where's his rendezvous? He goes back to spawn, so they may actually lose pressure if Ye doesn't get a frag here. I think XSET just has to slam it.
And Ye has an option
big
trying to
hit.
stop the slam, the aftershock on the top, the relay bolt on the staircase, but Ye's not affected
Ye
by
is
anything
huge.
else. The wall coming up, we're in front of it. FNS gets the
Get
kill
him.
for 2! And now it's a 3 versus 3. We've answered back for XSET. We have 26 seconds left on the clock, but the spike is down. But we are such in a long rotate now for OPTIC. We have a molly in the front, a plat now for XSET.
They are so dead.
And that calls
the
out
ulti.
also to Tour de Force. Now a molly coming in just to try to flush some players out. Doesn't work out. And now you're playing a full spot with 2 offs potentially, but Zekin pulls back out with the Vandal, but it's traded out.
Oh, the
it's
side!
a 1 versus 1 now. Crashy still has one more flash. The molly's on the ground. We have to push forward for the flash. He gets the kill. But as that clock is ticking now, he's going all around. And it's going to be fine. We are
God.
going into overtime for the first map and it's best of 5 for the grand finals of the North American VCTs.
No way the first mat comes down to that, the 1v1v1. Like, the trades were great. Nobody was making mistakes. And then the util play, the pop flash from Crashies, it was huge. And remember, they were building up so much of Crashies, making sure they had util, had his ultimate come into this situation. Oh my word. I didn't actually think they would be able to cover that ground, but Victor diving in and says, "Op drop, we go in, we still go." Oh my gosh. Now we're into overtime, Vansili. Here we go. Map 1, Fracture.
There was a point, too,
final series.
that I thought Aaron was going to get it because there were moments against FaZe yesterday where this man just popped off on clutches. But that slowed
Absolutely.
down. Lots of storylines, lots of things and components to look out for between XSET and OPTIC today. It's not only about the duelist, but we'll talk about that a little bit later
No
because
way.
we are not stopping for OPTIC. That's going to be Victor with
Wait a
2 opening kills really quick towards the dish, but Aaron's still alive. He could still hold this corner. Marv is watching that flank, and things are looking really good here for OPTIC to close this out. But after they get this kill, that's what I'm saying. They're just holding their ground.
How did they know?
BCJ's
Oh
on
my
the
god. That was gross. That hold, the push, the knowledge. Your BCGA has a lot of work ahead of him, an uphill battle here.
I mean, it was another one of those moments. You go for the early fight, the aggression, thinking that from the first few rounds where you actually got shut down onto the way that Zekin's been playing, this time you run a little bit of aggression towards the dish, and then you just hold it and watch for the pushes, and it worked out perfectly. So got to give it to Chet and FNS for reading that out into the overtime. BCJ with the biggest hurdle to try to jump across. We'll see if he could at least limbo under. That's the first kill, but as he drops in, he goes into limbo. That is going to be OPTIC on that point.
Switching sides.
Consistent play behind Victor there. The early flash to get 2 basically sealed the deal on the round. All they had to do there was move as a group, and it's almost impossible to lose the trades. This early play, oh my god. They almost didn't have time to flash because they weren't, that's how much they weren't expecting it. That's the first time we've seen OPTIC just blast through like that. Really saving stuff for the last ace up the sleeve on overtime rounds. And here we are. How are they going to push this? Looking at OPTIC's defense, they again set up this kind of aggressive flash towards Arcade. They don't use it right away, though. And they're just ready. It looks like they're actually almost prepared for a north side crunch. XSET could buy themselves a bit of room here with going south side.
A little bit of pings, too, just to be weary behind the smoke if anybody's trying to play. That is Ye, usually. But no opposition. It's going to be a slow creep down towards the underpass, back up towards Arcade, where again, back into the Victor and Crashy's duo. They're pinging out too, so they do have utility to work with to try to stop this. Victor playing behind the boxes. Waiting for contact from Crashies. He's going to go for the underhand throws. Spots contact, not even needed. These guys are actually just going to hold it and start pushing for exit. And finally the flash comes out, but it's still going to be a player advantage for Optic. Try on the other end though. Evens up the tally on a 3-3. Fault line then coming out. That's coming in from the rotation to allow Optic to come out inside the B site. And Marv is already in. And somehow it is going to be Exit that's actually pinned for a hit into Heavens. Marv is pushing up first. Headshot down. Spike is down. Yay, waiting with the op. Easy shot. One more to go. Aaron, you've clutched it once before. But it's not going to happen this time. Yay gets the kill. They make the comeback. And Optic wins the first map 14-12.
Incredible stuff from Optic, as well as Victor in the last few rounds there. 2 starting kills for both overtime rounds. It shows you what Optic getting into gear with this composition looks like. Victor, slide in there and get some frags, but with so much utility to combine behind that. XSET again come out firing, and it did look like they were running a few strats that they had previously used.
Yeah.
I think what was happening was once they found out where Zekin was, he would be jump peeking somewhere. He would be doing something. Well, you know where Zekin is. There's probably a lighter hit to that site. You can find out where to go. Optic doing a really nice job of just conditioning or finding that precedent and getting themselves this first win. We have a super close series, though, so I'm going to shut up so we can get to the analyst desk and this map.
Exactly. So hopefully this is going to be at least a taste of what to come for the rest of the BO5. Let's actually go for that break and see what the desk has to say after it.
Welcome back, everyone, to VCT Challengers here as we break down Game 1. Fracture looked to be a broken map for Optic there, but it turns out that the green wall does not crumble as they walk away with the win 14-12. And what a game that was. Firstly, I mean, you just got to address it, man. Just the comeback there from Optic really shows you why this is a championship team on the global stage, but also this is a squad that is very much looking for that first domestic win, Mimi.
I mean, to me, it really felt like a repeat of the series that we saw against them in towards the upper bracket, in that we come on out, some great ideas from XSET, they get a nice early lead, they look set up to win, and then Optic figure out the changes, they figure out the strategies that XSET are running, rally in the final moments of the map, and win in a really close series.
Yeah, around 7-1 when Optic got that first win, you kind of saw them change the stylistic way of how they wanted to approach the map. At first, they were kind of going fast in areas, showing quick and committing fast, but then they kind of turned more into a passive style where, you know, Ye was kind of contacting with the op, showing in areas, trying to bait out aggressive plays and allowing them to just get free kills holding.
Yeah, and actually, glad you mentioned that, because at the start, it was Zekin going very fast, and Optic simply were just not prepared for that, which is why you had to see that pivot come in, Mimi.
Yeah, I mean, I think always when you're making a composition, you come into an advantage for the matchup, and XSET showed that. Their early start was so incredibly strong, I believe at 1.7-1. Like you were saying, Zekin clearly had a fantastic understanding of how to play this agent. I mean, he has played, I think this is the 5th agent he has played just within the last month for this team, which is absolutely insane. The flexibility that this guy can bring and finding big impact on all of these characters. But as things continued on deeper in towards that first half and towards the second as well, I think that Victor was starting to get the better of that head-to-head. They were giving a little bit more space to Zekin in the early round and then crunching back in once that space was given it, which is exactly how you have to play against the Neon.
Yeah, and to compliment Victor, I mean, Crashies on the KO was looking phenomenal. Like, the pop flashes and the knife to kind of shut down the abilities, letting Victor just run in there without having to deal with breach stuns or sage slows really helps him out. And to get that pop flash slide through the wall, and I mean, he's mopping those kills every time.
Yeah, it was a very clear stylistic difference. We'll talk about that more in a moment here. But also, though, you know, you do got to compliment XSET, especially in the early game, the way that they were playing Valen. I know you have a telestrator for us, but there was a lot of great adjustments that they were making. I really like what they were doing with this composition, you know, until it wasn't working out for them that much anymore.
I want to break down this round that I saw. First time on the telly, give me a second. But I talked about in the pre-show how I want to see XSET pull out more micro plays because their macro is already phenomenal. And this is a really brilliant play. So right here, we get a double stun come out with Def and Zekin on the Neon. So it kind of pushes off the A off this angle. And right here, when Zekin gets walled up, it actually serves two purposes. So right here, we see this wall go up, and it allows Zekin to get on this box, but also it blocks off B main. So when Zekin decides to back up, it blocks off all the entrances. They know that OPTIC cannot be walking up B, so they don't even have to worry about that area. Zekin posts on this angle here, and he sees Marvs, and he just holds this angle, waiting for him to come up, gets this kill. We also see Crowd get a kill, and Zekin, great discipline. He backs up, lets the wall do the work from there, 5v3. But yeah, this wall allows them to not even look at B main until OPTIC decides to break it.
Yeah, and
phenomenal round.
That was happening consistency as well, right? They were putting that wall down, but they were conditioning that sometimes there would be that player on top taking the fight, sometimes there wouldn't be. At times it was Cryo posting there with an operator, other times it was Zekin going back to the play. They had a lot of different ideas around this stage that was working really well for them on the defense, but I think some of those gimmicky or one-off plays that, you know, you come out and has a surprise factor to it, stops working deeper in towards games, and I think that's where the style kind of faced off, right? Because Sage, I think, is fundamentally a good pick, but you can only get so many moments over your opponent with the cool one-off walls, whereas with the KO, you have consistency. Like you were talking about, you have flashes through walls to set your Neon up for success. You have consistent success that's not reliant on your opponent on your way.
And you can see that playing out throughout the game. By the way, good job, Valen. Way to go on the first tally. Love to see it. But you can see that playing throughout, because it's like there were situations where, you know, you had the Sage, last player left alive, and then you'd have the KO, last player left alive. Who would I rather want in that situation? A person that can pop flash around a corner, or someone who throws icy orbs? You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that. I think that kind of comes down to you know, the fundamental difference between these two teams. But I do think that it was nice to see XSET go, Mimi, for the experimentation, try something out on a map that really, when you look at the series layout, probably shouldn't have gone this way, considering their history with Fracture.
I mean, this has been one of the best maps for OPTIC quite consistently, and I think XSET had a very good understanding of where the maps were going to go. They knew that OPTIC was going to pick into this. They prepped well on the map, but again, OPTIC is one of those teams that when they're taking losses in the mid game, they'll take one of those pauses, they'll get past that half, they'll make the changes, they'll be able to win on out. Good ideas from XSET, but just not quite enough.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I think XSET played phenomenally, like really great Valorant, but OPTIC is just one of those teams that even when you're playing great, even when you're having these 7-0, 7-1 starts, they can always come back. And we saw them pull back to 7-5 and take over the defensive half.
Yeah, bonkers to see OPTIC really dig deep and pull off a massive win there. They're going to walk away with the dub on Fracture, but now we look forward to Haven. And for context, XSET 113-7 in the upper bracket final against OPTIC, Mimi. So this is a map that XSET should feel largely comfortable in, but both teams have a decent amount of experience. It's Haven, obviously.
Yeah, my question is this going to be one of those moments where we see another change come through from OPTIC? Because they've been playing this Neon here for quite a while in the Haven. We've also seen them pull out, toying with the idea of picking the Raze fade instead. I wouldn't be surprised with that day off if they were making a change, if they were looking at what went wrong in that upper bracket match. And with Agent Select coming up, we'll get to learn.
Yeah.
Let's see right here.
Let's see what we're going to get here. Agent Select's underway. Lots of questions. I mean, Crashy's, you know, had that fate, but instead is actually going to go with the Sky out of the breaker. So that is going to be a change up for OPTIC, Valen.
Yeah, I mean, with the Sky, I was expecting a Neon pick because the Sky complements the Neon very well on this map, kind of similar to how KO is, but with the long range, the longs, like C-Long, having the fast lane go up and being able to direct the Sky Flash onto back site or through the front part of site and sliding in, getting that entry kill and allowing your team to go through is really, really big. Also, the mid-round information on defense with double flash and dog, especially towards that A site, being able to re-dog short, get your op posted back on the A line, clearing out short, and just being able to stack in towards mid is really big with the Sky.
Yeah, and I'm looking as well towards this. This was the comp that was played previously. OPTIC love fighting for A lobby control, both on the defense and on the attack. XSET previously had a great understanding of how to shut that down with their Sky and with their Breach, so I'm looking to see how OPTIC innovate off of that information. Yeah,
I really like the composition here for OPTIC. It could very well work out for them. But again, you know, anything is possible in this grand final. A pivotal best of 5 here for XSET, an opportunity to go to champions outright, but for OPTIC to have that first seed in Copenhagen. Let's now go ahead and get ready to send it over to your casters. You got Vansili and Rivington on the mic. Fellas, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, my friends. And at the same time, I just realized, Riv, that I've probably taken the worst wardrobe choice today because I was just looking at White's chat. They were saying that it feels like I'm coming out of like a day at the spa or about to hit the spa after this game. Thought it was going to be a relaxing game no matter what, but it's not. We got a first map on overtime. Of course, it's also OPTIC versus XSET that we have here on this second map. The interesting part about this, though, is that, you know, this is still the same compositions for OPTIC and XSET when they faced off against each other in the upper bracket finals a couple of days ago. But the cool part about this, though, is that OPTIC has choice of side. They took defender side first, where the last time they couldn't get a single round on defense.
Yeah, see if XSET can start just as on fire as we saw that second half. Again, we'll keep track of the pistol rounds. Neither team has been able to win both in all of their head-to-heads. Cryo starts off with a huge headhunter, and they are in C. Dash
is already in. Victor is down towards that left side of Long C. And that is going to be just unanswered rounds. And finally, Marv is trying to do as much as he can. Unfortunately, not good enough. Only one to fall. Yay with the headhunter. Spike now planted on 4v1. First headshot, looking towards that left where Depp is. Lands that one, but already the right-click classic is good enough for the assist as Zekin picks up the last kill for the pistol round for XSET.
I like it. Great play, XSET. Going fast. I think that's the kind of pressure they need to start as well. Zekin can just dash in and create the chaos. And everybody, you can follow a Jet a little easier than you can follow a Neon, as hard as it still is. But the one thing that scared me there is XSET never got to back site that quick, right? They all stayed in the front. They were kind of waiting for OPTIC peaks. They were still able to flood the site. But if OPTIC had got into back site, that could have been a really, really sketchy play. First one goes, though, so throw that out the window. We're only looking for the W's here. XSET, second play, looks like they're going to just toy around with A main and mid.
0 point spots a couple of players, too, and now the gamble's almost there. You know, a lot of these teams sometimes in the second round, or they plant towards B, or they go for a C-side split. OPTIC goes for a gamble towards C, but now it's going to become a retake play towards B site potentially. Spike has not yet moved in because it's on the back of BCT, doing the Trailblazer for a link. Flash coming in, Death pushing forward, trying to wall bang with the Spectre, and finally does so. And now we're chiming in for the assists, also a push towards Garage. Last one to go is going to be Ye as Victor's just fallen. So this is going to be an easy round converted into a second round unless Ye could pull out some magic. He still has a full kit coming out of the Headhunter. But there's a lot of one-ways coming in and thrown by Aaron. Not easy to do. A ping towards the top just in case somebody's up there. But you can definitely see it's your own team breaking on crosshair placement, and Zekin gets the kill for a 2-0 for XSET.
Everybody's like, wait, Ye basically has an operator. Do not move. Finally, a quick peek on the one-way. XSET, I call it, I mean, strats, they mean to do them, but it's loose. They look like they're enjoying themselves. They're going in, you know, kind of pushing the limit to that strat. We get dive in with follow-up into B, right? They were expecting to just see the eco of OPTIC, and they played it to that strength. See how they do coming into this first gun round. Their bonus on the side of XSET. They were able to topple this last time. So a little bit reminiscent of that Fracture map for our first map of the series. Can they continue this one?
Aaron hears the backpedaling of Victor, but Victor decides to walk back into the corner just to play the left side tight, tucked in into the garage. And it's going to be XSET with the lower buy, of course, because it's a bonus round just to use the close range battle and the overwhelming opportunities that he get hitting towards this B site. But that grab well cancels out the plans for a bit. Now we've affirmed the plan towards B for XSET. 2 players on the A-link. Flash from FNS. A push coming out, but it's still Cryo with the 2 kills. Mopping everything up. Victor, meanwhile, does get a little bit of damage, but still wins that fight versus Aaron as they're trying to retake towards the front B. Nice job by Flash. He's holding up the B side on his own on a retake, leaving out Zekin and BCJ on a 2 versus 2. A smoke actually splits them out, but it's still Zekin that wins that duel. Marv trying to clutch a dash, pushes him away. And now he goes, they know that at least he went for the fake plant. Trying to go for another one here. Trying to play the anti-flash, but it's still going to be Zekin creeping out with a kill on the Spectre, and that is a bonus round converted in favor of XSET.
That a huge round from Cryo right there. Cryo and BCJ did not expect to have to counter or anti-flash that BA link connector. And Cryo insta-turn. You can see BCJ is like, please Please hit these shots. So huge play there. Really nice mechanics by Cryo and Zekin and BCJ to clean this one up as Marv does his damnedest to try and squeeze them out into a 1v1. Nice job all around there. But the round again to XSET, another bonus for them. They've been so consistent in these rounds. It seems to be the mid game where OPTIC start to figure them out. Let's see if XSET can keep this going still.
Lots of pressure now to start things off. Inside sewers. That actually did not spot Ye. So Ye could actually get a nice little surprise kill. If you can, I just got pinged. Just in case BCJ says, hey, I didn't clear that corner. Make sure if you're walking down towards sewers to check that left side. Oof. And again, another eco for OPTIC where they gamble for a stack. It looked good at the beginning as they have 5 players moving up here. But you can already see now XSET leaning back towards C.
What good calls all around. This push from Cryo, I'm sure him hearing nothing, it makes XSET inclined to think, well, if there's no flank coming in, they are hard on one site, just holding it. They have called that correctly. Looks like they're going to be rushing into C here and find absolutely 0 things to mess with.
30 seconds left.
Even from XSET, though, we're leaving no stones unturned. The flash is coming out, clearing out towards the back. The Aftershock trying to delay towards spawn very soon here from Death. But this is all very good for XSET just to continue this streak that they have from the upper bracket final, on Haven until now. Because as we mentioned just at the beginning of this map, OPTIC has yet to win a defender side or a defender round against XSET on this map here, at least since the last time that they met up against each other on Haven. So things are looking good here for XSET to continue to come out strong. But we've seen what happened last time when we played Fracture.
Yeah. Aaron? Almost some more. I mean, they have the money to play with, right? We see Ye and the rest of the team jump in to get their worth. Coming into round 5 now. See what OPTIC can put up. Operator's going to be there for Ye. Bladestorm wherever ready for Zekin, so he's going to low buy anyways to keep the econ on par with everything. I would say above par, even better. And honestly, they're set up to continue being able to have Zekin go a little hard, right? If he goes down a few times, it doesn't matter. There's a rebuy. He's 7-0-1. So really, I think they have a chance to test OPTIC within these rounds, especially when they get guns, right? You go for the throat to put them back on the economy, or the low buy rounds. And here's the Bladestorm following up the Trailblazer.
Exactly when he has a stinger on top of that, you know that it's going to be Zekin trying to open up the site here, and that's him inside B. And they're looking for a pitch.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god, this guy's insane. The headshot onto Victor. Now that we go for a C-side split for XSET. Nice gravity well, at least from Marv, just to slow down the pace a bit, allowing FNS to move out, but it gets immediately traded out. Guided light towards the garage, blinds one, but little did they know here for OPTIC that there's 3 players from XSET here. And now we cancel out the plans and maybe rotate back towards A if we want to, where Ye still posted up, at least on the A link. Oh my god, Crashes is pushing forward. He's going to catch a perfect timing here. Back towards C. But unfortunately, there's still a trap available for the attackers to cancel. Oh, he gets the headshot at least onto Aaron. So there's no smokes inside C. Marv gets headshotted by Zekin as Zekin gets another opener inside of sight. So a 3 versus 2. They know that Crash is on the flank. Ye needs to land the shot, but he doesn't. Now the spike has been planted. A nice little kill there from Cryo onto Crashies, leaving Ye on his own on a 3 versus 1. They actually don't spot him, though. They're still looking towards spawn. He might be able to come out and at least get one. But as he creeps out more towards the platform, did not expect that Cryo's playing so close at long C. And XSET put 5 in a row now, and I feel like a timeout should be coming soon.
Yeah, Vansili, how often do we see B strats? Maybe once or twice. XSET has utilized B and then stemmed a strat off it 3, 4 times now out of our 6, 5 rounds. Sorry, I'm losing rounds already because it's just blowing my mind. They have gone twice to planet B, and then the one time they go back because OPTIC's thinking, not B again, it's a gun round, they'll play it out. Zekin just runs through with no defense. Now it's going to try to be Optic putting their foot down here. They're saying, no way. Zekin setting way too much pace. And we see Optic try to get some early intel here. And while Victor doesn't see too much, he can let the team know it's going to probably be towards A.
And thankfully for the free ability of just running quickly, that actually trades it out for a Trailblazer from BCJ just to look back towards Garage, look back towards Window. They even ping out towards Grass for XSET so they could re-clear it together. But another gamble stack from Optic on A that doesn't work out, unfortunately, on how they're trying to read where XSET's going.
They're loving the elevation game right now. If Zekin can create chaos, it's exactly where they want to be. Another play towards B, Vans, and they just have to hold this one off.
And that's one of those moments where finally, if you ping on top of the boxes, you'll spot Zekin, who's winning up there, greeting Ye, leaving FNS and Victor alone now for Optic. But they have two Spectres. Little flash here from FNS. Victor gets the kill, picks up a Phantom. Now a fast lane to actually get the tap of Cryo is going on. The lurk on the mid.
Wait, what?
There's that first kill. It's traded off, though, by Victor. Knows that Aaron's in the front, but he thought that Aaron was under the window.
Wow.
And Aaron went from the window to the wall for that kill.
Woo! Feel it. It is gameplay. So round 7 coming in. The ultimates are starting to come up here. A lot of damage you have to recognize has been done by Optic over the last few rounds. That might slow XSET's push and gusto down a little bit. Remember, we said you get the chance to make plays, right? Zekin buying a Stinger on like 6,200 credits left previously. These guys just, they're able to toy with a few of these aspects that allow them to have safety in the following rounds. Optic does call that timeout. They have been thwarted at B so many times. And if you look at the style Optic likes to play, it's yay contact. It's figure out how they might be able to find Ye a first kill, flash for him, or pull back and get the site. If you rush B as XSET, what angles does Chamber have to shoot you, right? You're already close quarters. You are taking away what Optic loves to play with, and that's initial long range and grabbing the info that does not allow you into a site. So Optic discussing now, how do we find out what XSET's doing beforehand? How can we get into position better? Because it has been 6 straight rounds for XSET. And deja vu of Fracture.
And they haven't really figured anything out, right? Because in these moments where they have lower economy for Optic and they're trying to run like the basic fundamentals of creating space and going for trades on pistols, the stacks are just not working for them. So XSET's doing a better job anticipating where the stack is going. And that's working towards the B early every single time. And this time, though, the change of pace here for the defenders. We have a rifle round. Dual Default's coming out here on the defense, and we're pushing down towards mid. Crashies is in a very good spot at the bottom unless a flash or a Trailblazer comes out, but BCJ is a little bit too far. He's down towards C. So that allows Crashies to get the first kill, but that's the Seekers also down. Not to be used there in the half to get information. So with XSET, they just want to go quick. It's going to be the rolling thunder first from Def to open up towards Garage, and all of that is towards a fake, actually, in the end. Optic has 3 players rotated towards C, and once again, XSET is moving into the B site.
It closes everything off. They create the angles they want instantly, but they're not checking their back this time. Yes, Zekin had the flank. They creep in to get B once again from Optic.
But Victor's so close. Gets the surprise attack on the first 2. And the third one, unfortunately, he went towards the back of Gong. The tap coming out from Victor, still trying to find Aaron. And Aaron gets that frag. Ye's on his own, but they know where Aaron's at.
They need this clutch.
A fake TP. Headhunter is out. Aaron playing on the top of the ledge just to break the crosshair placement. Goes behind the smoke and picks it up with the Phantom kill. And Ye goes for the clutch and the defuse here for Optic. And as you said, Rivington, they needed that one desperately, especially coming out of a timeout, especially how they pushed so aggressively towards mid. And finally, the Red Bull clutch in the end to close it out.
The solution to B. They found it. And it is actually Victor, I'm sorry, Ye, the final one, probably the person they avoid here to capitalize on those last few kills. And this was a tour de force round. He was towards long. They were trying to capitalize on frags, and XSET forced them into another close range fight at B that comes down to the wire. And silly.
Yeah.
Still, money on both sides. XSET needs to be hit a few more times here for that to hurt. 6-1 though. Optic strike back a bit quicker than Fractured.
They're going to be looking pretty good for this round and the next here, at least for XSET.
Yeah.
If they lose this round, just in sheer economy, and Zekin getting very close to his Blade Storm. That said, as you see the amount of utility, again, Victor playing that turret, trying to look out towards the garage. He's closing that gap already, so they're closing out the space, at least on this site. And they have the perfect number stacked. Easy kill from Ye on top of Sewers. They're trying to push in for the trade. Seeker's coming out from Crash. He's a flash, but that's just to delay. That also with the KO null command is not going to allow XSET to hit towards the A side. But with 54 seconds left on the clock and these guys pinned inside Sewers, they don't know actually that Victor is just by the window.
They couldn't. He's still waiting for the push, though. They don't want to give him the satisfaction of knowing someone's behind them just yet. If they're playing with the mind games right now, they could very easily double push and be a bit safe.
That's the crazy
But
part,
to
too.
stay back, you have two flash agents from Optic and Sight. There's no way XSET should get this.
Well, they have.
Oh my gosh.
Cosmic Divide is out here for Marv. Victor trying to run through. And that's the beauty of having Cryocells dead here if you're a fan of Optic. You're able to go for this flank. There's 13 seconds left on the clock, 1 player left to go, and it's still going to be Marv that clutches it on that 1 versus 1 against Aaron. Man, it went back and forth, but again, having Cryocells dying so early, it forced XSET to have one of those players.
Yep.
You saw he was deaf, having to look back. Are we going to get flanked? Are we not going to get flanked? Then with the Cosmic Divide that comes out here from the defender side on the retake of Marv, they did not expect, again, another backstab kill coming in from Victor 2 rounds in a row.
Incredibly big. Yeah, the chamber call is huge, Vincently. As you said, not having that coverage on the back basically locks XSET into that play, right? Or you re-clear the entire map, which just becomes too dangerous. Oh my, Victor. So Victor rinse and repeat on this run out of garage. Seems like it's kind of a safe play if he does find the fight. It's going to be one person most likely, so he feels comfortable to keep doing that. No real information gained off this, though, as both teams reset this round to start it off. You are putting that idea in XSET's head, though, like, good luck. We could be anywhere now. So neat little stuff that Optic's doing right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's Victor lapping all the way from B to C back into garage where he started.
And again.
And they're going to try to go for the peak here. But yeah, I mean, XSET this time is like, okay, you could be anywhere, so we're just going to hold our ground default Fracture style as we did before. And Optic gets a taste of their own medicine. A repeat coming out, and then Crashies is trying to hold towards garage at least. Silver lining as that finesse. Unfortunate there. He played the anti-flash, thought the flank was coming on the other end, and then it's actually where he originally looked at that he could have gone the kill onto Def. That's a plant coming down for XSET, and you already see Ye saving his operator for the next round.
This is big for XSET to be able to kind of get Optic into 2 rounds. You're buying full, you won a round. This is where you actually get a chance to really punch somebody right in the money bag. We'll see what Optic's cash flow is next round, but being able to reset their money after you have a team feeling comfortable in their stride and thinking it's going to be gun round after gun round. Big props to XSET to be able to do this, especially with 4 members alive, because they were about to be in economy hell come these next rounds. A nice play towards C here. We haven't seen too much of that from XSET, right? It's been a lot of B, a touch and go towards A, and they finally wait out the map again, much like they did on Fracture, waiting out the map to go towards a C there. So slowing the map down a bit as Optic speed up the map quite a bit, right? A little flip in what the teams want to get.
It almost looks like even on the idea of what Optic was trying to do was really trying to prevent that B site hit that XSET's been doing consistently.
They're worried. They're like, they don't want anybody in B.
Exactly. I mean, that's why Victor is starting to do that turret move of running quickly, jump peeking out towards garage, support from Marv on top of that. But unfortunately, this time XSET was just ready for it, just holding towards grass.
It is a great point. Right has been Victor and a few pushing out B. Now it's Ye watching B. Somebody's been on B. They're just like, XSET, stop using this play.
Oh my God.
That's one way to do it.
Wow.
Oh,
they thought it was a having TP. Aaron went towards the spawn. It's going to be a flash at the flash, but FNS is the one that takes the upper hand. Marv rotating all the way back from C.
Weapon.
They're going to be able to take up an op and also a rifle, and the overdrive available for Victor. So technically a full gun round on this retake on the 3 versus 3. Plant coming in now. Still lots of flashes available still for XSET on this post plant, and Zekin's still alive, of course. Marv has come up huge here as he jiggle peeks towards the window. There's no smokes available for XSET, so this is a great opportunity here for Marv to get something. Dropping towards Hell, a flash, but they never expected that Zekin was on the boxes, and unfortunately the overdrive doesn't come in for a kill. Off shot kill, back to the frenzy, but it's going to be Zekin with another kill. 3 onto the round, and XSET are now up at 8.
A round with a lot of util and a kitchen sink being thrown at OPTIC there. You had From the Shadows coming in from Aaron, stuck it. Like you said, they're predicting it's going to be heaven, but it's not. And as soon as they do lose eyes on Aaron and what he's got in the spawn, Seekers comes out. And Seekers identifies that nobody from OPTIC has made it into sight. So everybody that was still long A from XSET waltz right in. Another one of these Stinger low buys for Bladestorm coming in for XSET as they prepare themselves for more rounds where XSET or OPTIC's going to be able to take members down. They have been scratching and clawing at these rounds, and like I said, XSET's going to be able to start to put OPTIC into econ hell. With those rounds, they're starting to reset the econ. This would be a big one.
Well, unfortunately here, Riv, we're at round number 11, so no matter what, we're going to have good econ for XSET for the next 2 rounds.
True.
There.
Yep.
Now the tides have turned. OPTIC, not only do they need to win rounds, but not lose too many players because of how low they've bought. Or how low's left after their buy here, as we have this flash coming out from BCJ. It does catch onto Ye, but do they know that he's bunny? They don't. He misses a shot, unfortunately, but still overextends for a bit until he TPs away. And now XSET just resetting once again towards grass.
Still a really big find, right? You get Ye's rendezvous out. He can't make those forward plays anymore. Now it's your chance, XSET. Where do they pressure? Rolling Thunder right through garage to the right side of the site. Oh, big fragment.
Huge. Marvin's going to get the easy kill now. Onto Zekin at 14 HP
Oh,
running
the smoke play.
Beautiful relay bolt from Victor, who gets the headshot onto BCJ. Marv now pushing down because they know that he's there, so at least he's going to get the information with 24 seconds left on the clock. Spike is now down. Turret still up, though. The Traymar watching the flank, so they have to try to get the kill here. There's one. FNS does connect onto Cryo, and he's not even needed for the flank. That's FNS for the 3rd kill onto Def, and a solid hold from OPTIC on C.
That's the round OPTIC needs as well to make it 8-4. Otherwise, they would be coming into this one with sheriffs and whatnot, hoping that Ye could maybe drop them a weapon from earlier rounds. Yeah, big. Oh, Marv was so tricky here. Be able to call things out. The knowledge that nobody else was pressuring into sight right with Marv in that smoke. It really gave OPTIC the time to rotate. So super heady play by Marv there. Without getting more frags, he basically got the info to keep that round in OPTIC's favor. How do they play this one? A bit of a scrunch ball defense or default by XSET as they're still choosing it, waiting for that run out of garage. Look, the double peek coming in right now from Cryo and Def, waiting for that to come out. You still got Ye pushed up and Bunny, though, waiting for these shots. They will not let me go anymore.
Doesn't have the op, but it's not needed.
Pays off that time.
Yeah, you got to give it to XSET, though, on being able to keep the economy low against Ye, not allowing him to get too many ops. And because of getting no ops, Cryo wins this duo here, or this duel, rather.
They just go back to the dash in chaos, right?
But we have
Follow me.
We actually have BCJ that has full control of C site, except not clearing garage, but I'm pretty sure that he saw the trademark too. So this allows now XSET to go for a plant while BCJ is clearing towards C-Link unless everybody goes back through C-Link to C. That's exactly what's happening so far. Marv is now moving back towards garage and he's playing the angle from under window.
30 seconds left.
Pivotal position right now. BCJ is trying to clear it. Big kill from Marv, but it gets immediately traded out by Zekin. That now allows the plant, but it's a 3-on-3.
3-on-3. No smokes here or there, so you're going to get Zekin down long to be able to get the flank. They'll let the team know they can focus sight, but this is going to be tough. The dash in! Woo!
So easy for Cryo. FNS is on his own towards spawn. And it's a gap in the smoke to allow Cryo to get the quad kill into the round and put it XSET at 9-3 on the second map against OPTIC. But at least for OPTIC, they're able to get a couple of rounds on the defense. We'll see now if they can bring it back on the attack after the break. Back here in the second half now, OPTIC on the attacker side, where they actually did have, again, a better showing the last time that these two teams met against each other, and that was the upper finals. Another rematch here where XSET, after getting that loss, or getting that win, sorry, on Haven, is going to try to continue this against OPTIC. But Riv, where OPTIC is actually pretty good at learning from their mistakes and coming back, we'll see if this will happen now on their attacker side.
The consistency. It's almost terrifying how much they begin to read and then redeploy a strategy mid-game, not mid-round, mid-game, that affects every round. Here, a good push coming out of XSET to start off, and they find Marv right away. Smokes are down for OPTIC here to start. That's absolutely huge, but they have already taken B.
And a slide coming in from Victor the Frenzy, and a little bit too late for the rest of XSET to move back up to trade the kill onto Def. So smokes are down, but at least they get a plant now onto B. Trailblazer is going to spot Victor, who does have support from me as well. Two players are low there inside Garage. Cryo, though, opening up towards the A-Link. Crashes has to come up huge towards the back gong. Nice little lurk kill so we can get that frag onto Cryo. Zekin through the smoke, and we get the full defuse in. That's XSET with pistol.
And smokes. No, I'm just kidding. No, XSET's pistol. The XSET have won both pistols. That's the first time one of these teams in a head-to-head have won both pistols on a map. So get out the trophies, pop a little bubbly. A bit of history being made there by XSET in this head-to-head versus OPTIC. And that does that seal the deal? I mean, they got 5 rounds on defense last time they played this in the upper final. So by those numbers, if they got 5, they'd be more than winning. So that pistol round's really going to help them.
Helps for the economy of XSET, but OPTIC in another one of those situations. We got a plant. We're going to force buy. That's Zekin on the top. Traded it back by Marv. Nice little flash coming out and gets a blind kill out of that. That's BCJ courtesy onto Crashies. Aftershock to slow down the pace as OPTIC are trying to crunch in from long. Flash now allowing BCJ to peek out. Oh, the timing. We've actually made it inside the smoke here for FNS. We're clearing the site. They think that it's open now for XSET, so we're moving in for a plant.
They are very wary of what's going on in the site. A few extra checks never hurt. Measure twice, cut once. And a slow push in here from OPTIC. We'll kind of see themselves look to get a lot of the exits here. I should say entrances.
Knife for info, though. That spot's 2. We still have another one in heaven, and that's a Sky from BCJ. 2 flashes available from the top and from the bottom. It's going to be hard to hold now for OPTIC. That's Marv now trying to hold with Ye, and it's just not going to work out, unfortunately, as the other falls as well. No trade coming out from OPTIC.
That was big. And XSET, we saw them play this the way on Fracture, right? Safe in the first few rounds. Yeah, OPTIC's going to fly through, maybe get some plants, and then XSET on the retake. Here, you have guns. Why not play that safe? You're not worried about XSET getting the extra 1,500 across the team from plant. OPTIC timeout here. Things are getting real tight for them. 21 frags from Zekin. 21 and 5. He has really just been put in the forefront of this attacking lineup to be able to do that. They continue to promote him with their utility as he pushes forward. And we've seen his rushes through B as well on solo excursions. But yeah, XSET have really been able to, I think, identify how they want to use their compositions and then maximize that. We've always known them to stick to their guns with initiator comps or what they want to use, but it seems like they've really refined it to give teams something extra where it's not just the default play or a wait out in the round. But this random B strategy every round, not say random, I shouldn't say it's random, but this B strategy every round that has variations, right? That OPTIC wasn't even expecting, but XSET continue to run because they've identified that. You know, it's definitely a different team in a lot of senses for XSET.
Now a very important timeout for both OPTIC and XSET, because if this somehow becomes a comeback, then I have a feeling we'll probably see a 3-0 here from OPTIC, because XSET would be demoralized. But at that point, after this timeout, if we can close it in early here for XSET, we'll definitely see a match in the next of this series. And off this timeout, it's very quick from both ends just to try to deny control of Garage. And that's Victor sliding in a nice flash to allow him to get a kill onto BCJ. But Victor is still low on HP and Zekin's back there. It's 2 players in the back with Def. Easy kills with the Spectre. 2 focused on Zekin, not clearing logs. And now Zekin's at 7 HP. We're Def. He's just looking to play the trade because he has no utility left to support his teammate. Crashes and Ye on their own. The swing coming out. And the lineup works out for both Optic players. Trials on his lonesome. It's now a 1 versus 1 as the spike is down towards the C site. And it's now going to be the chamber on chamber.
Yeah. We saw Bulldogs in the hands of some of the members of Optic.
Oh, but the peek coming out, and Cryo gets the kill. And that's going to be XSET at map point.
Map point as well as just stealing all of Optic's lunch money here. No real buys are going to be coming through on this. No armor there for Marv. That's going to be a tough one for them. And XSET has done a great job of making that the case. Absolutely incredible strength coming off of Fracture, and they show it in Haven. One of their strong maps that we've seen in the upper finals. Like we said, they took Optic. They'll do it again here in the grand finals in one more round, in even better fashion. Holy moly.
Oh yeah, we are not stopping. The force buy, of course, here coming in for Optic. Fast lanes and a slide coming out. And look how passive it's being played by XSET. Wait for that utility to dry out and then replay the retake. Now towards the spawn. Def was jump peeking just in case they were getting pushed forward, and they're not. So now Kryle's the one pushing forward. Gets that first kill onto Ye. Full time situation. Nice stun, but Vicker still gets the frag. Beautiful flash once again. But it's a 3 versus 3. Fragment available for FNS just to run that clock down. Flash will not going to do anything here for XSET, as now we finally tap the spike. We got smokes after smokes. Zekin on the top. Crash, he's trying to get the spray, and it's not going to work out. Another stick defuse coming into the second half for XSET, and it's 13-3 for the second map for that team.
That's the idea of the second map. Smoked them. Holy moly. XSET coming out. Yeah, the 2 of those defuses. The B play over and over again. XSET had a plan coming into Haven today, and they showed even stronger than their last game against Optic in the upper finals. So just showing that they can continuously punch through a ceiling when met with it, and that Optic, they're up to now 1-1. We're in a best of 3 now.
It's crazy too, because the game plan was also to work a lot on the attacker side on B, but still do very well on defense with the 6 that they had on the second half. And with that, we're tied up 1-1. We have a game on our hands, a series on our hands, and we'll see what happens after the break.
That's right, folks. The Verizon Game Changers Series 2 begins this Thursday. Make sure you tune in, cheer on your favorite teams as they chase glory right here on twitch.tv/Valorant. We love to see it, and of course, can't wait to be tuning in myself. But let's go ahead and bring in our casters here and get ready to break down this game, because it was a quick one. I have a feeling XSET really want me to watch AEW New Japan Forbidden Door. So thank you guys so much. No safe haven here for Optic.
That's low-hanging fruit.
That was an easy one. They got clapped. Just to really be upfront about it, that was not a pretty game for Optic. And Optic, they tried really hard, but Mimi, XSET had a game plan. They executed it to perfection.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy about this match is that practically every time Optic lose a series or lose a map, they come in with new ideas, they adapt, they win the second time around. But that wasn't the case here. I think XSET came into this matchup better prepared. They knew the way that Optic was playing it. It's really heavy in towards that kind of A lobby aggression. So they circumvented that all. They were very heavy on their commitments over towards B, towards mid, on their attacking sides. And the way that they defaulted and played the map was so excellent. The calling out of Def in that first half was impeccable.
Yeah, just to add on to Def's calling, I think he called a phenomenal map. I think he really switched up the pace from what we see typically out of XSET on Haven. They kind of like to show A long, go back in garage, kind of move around the map, be methodical.
Yeah.
But this time they were a lot faster. And I think that's because they know that OPTIC is very good in the late game at re-pushing for information, overstacking sites, knowing where they're going to go before they even do sometimes. And it's great work because XSET was a lot more committed towards B, getting that spike down early because they know that OPTIC likes to play more 3A or double C setup, so they know the middle of the map was open and they capitalized.
Yeah,
Great.
and even when OPTIC made adjustments to try and stop it, it was almost as if XSET were completely ready for it every single time. Also helps out when Zekin frags out again. Would you look at that, Mimi? Just seems like Zekin can't be stopped this series. Even in a losing effort, Zekin was still a superstar in Fracture, and now here on Haven just continues to ride that wave of momentum.
Yeah, it was really excellent work out of Zekin across the series thus far, and this map in particular. I also, while he was great, want to give credit to the two initiators on this team in BCJ and in Def. I think between the Sky and the Breach, in practically all of these rounds, once they got towards the later stages, when he was actually having to create that space and dash on it, not only was the calling good to be entering fairly empty sites, but they had that set up for him. Even when they got that spike on down, you'd see Zekin re-aggress. He was incredibly fast in this game. It may not be the Neon, but he was still forcing OPTIC to play his style, and they really struggled against that.
Yeah, and I think the Breach and the Sky combo along with the Jet is the reason why he's allowed to play so fast and not be punished. There's stuns going into C-Link, flashes going into C-Link. He's dashing in, like we saw right there, flanking the person in Garage before they even know it. So they're pulling out such fast plays, and it's because the support cast is giving him perfect utility, setting him up perfectly with the Sky flashes, and he's just doing his thing.
And that's why those B hits were so efficient, because every time that spike comes down, they keep aggressing. They were fighting for link control over and over again. OPTIC loves leveraging that space to use their Neon to fight back in for these really speedy retakes. They didn't have that time because of XSET's play.
Yeah, it was outstanding to see how in the early game, like the way that they were attacking B, because they realized B is free. We could just go and do our thing. They know how OPTIC wanted to play it. And they got like a heap load of plants on B site, which was wild. Out of the break like that, and the way that they just kept abusing it, OPTIC just could not seem to figure it out at times.
Yeah, again, credit to the coaching staff on the side of XSET. They were talking about in the pre-show about how important those coaches are for them, and the way that they were kind of finding the gap in OPTIC setup. Because let's be honest, OPTIC has been playing this map in a similar way for quite a long time. There's a lot of tape of them out here. They didn't make the change coming on in. XSET was ready for it.
Yeah, and looking at the heat map, XSET is a team that typically likes to work A a lot more than B and C, but they completely swapped up their style on attack, and I think that's a reason why they got this 9-3 half. They came out unconventional. They did some things that they usually don't do, getting 4 plants on B site, and before that, I believe they only had 2 plants out of all of their maps in VCT on Haven. 2 plants on B. And funny stat here, NA's average plants each game on Haven is 2.3, and they got 4. So they were pushing through.
Way better than the average,
pushing
baby.
B.
Pushing B. Love to see it. All right, well, now we're going to be getting ready for bind here in a moment. So let's focus our conversation to this, because you've been talking about Mimi, OPTIC's bind and what you were expecting. But let's kind of reframe it for the viewers at home who probably didn't get to catch the pre-show. Like, we're getting bind game 3, and that was a point of conversation for the two of you going into this match.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. I think that it's less about what do we expect out of OPTIC and what isn't XSET expecting, because it has been almost a month since this team has played this map. They've only played it twice. It's something that OPTIC likes to float quite often, but they very rarely pick into. Here in this series, they pick it early, and I think that shows that they're going to have something ready to try and force XSET to be unprepared.
Yeah, and this is a wild guess from me, but seeing Zekin more on the Neon and Jet, I kind of have a strange feeling that they're going to put Zekin on Neon on this map as well, because it's really, you can take really fast shower control, hookah control, long B control with Neon, combined with a Breach or an Astra. It allows you to take super fast control and make them have to re-push into you, or just be really fast on executes.
Yeah, and on that point as well, I would be really happy to see a team finally implement the Neon well on this map. I think NRG is the only North American team that has even really tried it out. It did not work for them particularly well. I didn't think they had a deep enough strat book going on in. But again, XSET has had this time. It goes back to my question of, were they expecting this in the pool so early?
Yeah, very true, right? Were they expecting it? But, you know, and then what does OPTIC try and bust out over here to really, you know, throw things off a little bit? You know, I know we were having some conversations before. There's always going to be that question of like, you're right. What does OPTIC look to do? Does OPTIC pull something out, Mimi, that potentially throws off XSET completely? Do they maybe put Ye on something different? Do they try and like adjust whatever Victor is going to do? Like, I genuinely I'm really interested.
I would expect them to stand by Ye on the chamber. I think that's pretty much the role that they stick with. But I'd imagine if there's a change being made, it would probably be moving towards that fade raise. They've toyed with it a little bit on a few maps. They've never really fully committed in towards that setup for OPTIC, but I think it's incredibly effective. This is one of the best maps to find value out of the fade. When Crashies has played that agent, I've really liked the way he sets up the Prowlers, gets lots of value on both your attack and your defense, and the C-Snade combos in such a tight map are excellent.
Yeah, and not only is Crashies very good on the agent, but Victor is very good on Raze, and comboing those two players, it's just like the Neon and KO. Like, they're just on the same page. They're finding openings. They're taking site control together. They're such a great dynamic duo. It's always Crashies and Victor just going crazy in the map. So yeah, I'm excited to see them pulling out hopefully a fade Raze, because I think it's such a great combo, and it's great on Bind as well.
My other question is around the controllers. Traditionally, this has been one where OPTIC is very committed in towards that Brimstone. XSET has been playing the Astra. They're one of the teams that have very much stuck by Astra, even right after she was nerfed. I think it's really good on maps like this where you're not playing against the Neon. I think it's tough to get trap play value when you're playing against the Neon, but when it's against the Raze, when the style's a little bit slower, I think those grab wells can provide a lot of value. I expect them to stick with it, but I'm wondering if we see that phase Raze out of OPTIC, do they pivot to the Astra? Because on Ascent, Mars Astra is excellent.
Yeah, we have to find a new nickname for the fade Raze. You know, I was going to say
the phase.
The phase, but then it's like, okay, guys, you know, and I don't know if I want to do that. You know, they can't just take full ownership of it.
They didn't even play it that often.
That's right. They didn't. You know, that could have been their phase up. Guys, we're waiting for the agent select to start up in a moment here. So we're just going to be filling some time until the game starts up. So still, you know, it's kind of setting the stage for what we're expecting here. If you're just joining us, welcome to the grand finals here for VCT Challengers, as the series is all tied up 1-1. And I think, you know, Valen, this goes back to a kind of a philosophical perspective of like, now that you've won this game, you're 1-1 now, XSET, they can have that mindset of, all right, guys, it's just a BO3.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of eases the mental at this point because, you know, like you said, it's tied 1-1. It's a BO3 at this point. The long game is over. You know, you start fresh. But I think this bind map is going to be really big for both teams because I think it's such a good map for both teams. If OPTIC can pull out a win, I think they can. I see a 3-1 victory for OPTIC if they pull this map out.
Yeah, which would be you know, awesome for OPTIC. They're able to get the first seed, but you know, maybe to set that, you know, the stakes for XSET here, a win would be massive for them. And here is the agent select. But hey, we'll worry about that later on. Let's get into the agent select right here and see what is going to be picked up on either side, and we already are going to get the skies locked in on each side.
That's
and Victor,
already a change there for the side of XSET, going with the Sky instead of, I believe previously it was BCJ playing on towards the Sova on this map. I think it is a good switch, and as well for OPTIC, they're not moving toward the fade Raze, but instead going into the Neon for this composition. That Astra change will be made. I think it's very synergistic with that Neon. If you're not playing with the fade, having those sucks to help set your Neon up for success on these executes, have them deal with less angles is great. Also, again, we see that Sky Neon duo that works pretty well for OPTIC. Yeah,
I mean, the chemistry on OPTIC's comp right now is great. You put a suck down, you breach stun, the people can't move. You got Neon running it down, picking up those kills. Towards the XSET side, I think this is a very conventional comp, but it makes sense for them. Zekin, top race player in NA. BCJ, really good on the Sky. Cryo on Chamber. Def on Smokes, and Aaron also on Viper. I mean, everything makes sense for this team. It's a very good comp for them to run. I think this is going to be an absolute banger.
And this is XSET moving again. They had switched away from the double controller. Now they're going back to it. They've also not emphasized the Astra. It's the Brim instead, which is new. So lots of changes on both sides here.
Lots of changes. Let's see who walks away with the victory as we get ready for the matchup. We're going to send it back over to your casters. You got Rivington and Vancilia on the horn. Fellas, over to you.
Thank you so much, friends. No, I want the high five. Give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah, it's too late. It's too late, Mimi. It's too late. I see where our friendship lies. But yeah, we're getting into bind here, Riv. A little bit of a change of composition for both of these teams. This is going to be very, very exciting because I feel that at some point when you still had an Astra being played by Aaron on this map on bind, it would have been perfect against the amount of stuns that you're going to come up against Victor and FNS as that breach and Neon. But now what's going to happen? The double controller, will it be enough at least? Snake bites, I think would be a right thing. But let's kick things off on the pistol here where OPTIC looking ready to dash for control inside showers.
Facilitated with that guiding light. Victor is off and running. Now they have orb control. They can patience the round just a little bit. It looks like they will focus right now. A little bit of crashies. BCJ in their own adventure, 3-stack here as they anti towards Hookah. They find where Ye is, so they can kind of get an idea of what the flank was so far for Optic's attack strategy here for pistol round. You can see the reset from XSET with that info.
There's a possibility I wanted to go for
Yep.
a fault line peek off that trademark, but nice
Yeah.
flash from BCJ that forced out that headhunter away. So speaking about forcing away, we're refocusing for Optic to split inside a site. Trailblazer to come out. Beautiful fault line coming out as well. And that's 2 players falling down now for Team XSET on the defense, and Ye also falling down. But Zekin is also holding towards that back of the site. I mean, the ones with the more
my
frenzies.
gosh.
I think Penzi mentioned that earlier on today on the EU broadcast. If you have more frenzies, technically, you should win. So now XSET's on a 2 versus 1 with Marv looking to clutch it.
Enemy remaining.
Also, if you think about the situation, frenzies, stim pack, run it. I mean, I'll check if you had a stim pack again, but like, if you have stim pack, why not buy frenzies? You're getting the most out of it. You just literally run people down, and we see it there. Goes picked up in the end. Nice rotations around. Like you said, Optic was set up for a play with fault line over towards Ye if something did happen. A lot of cross-map things were going on there for Optic off the ball of what we saw in Shower. And XSET wanted a little more space first. A quick peek out of Hookah. As I said, kind of gave him idea that, okay, Ye's flank, we saw XSET put the majority of their players at A, and it was the correct call. Now into frenzies for the Optic side. A little bit of a half bar low buy here, I should say. And they still go for the shower.
Birds are flying through, pop down on both ends, but Ye still gets an opener on long B. That's Cryo falling down, and a spike, or should I say an orb being picked up. Should be towards Showers. As now Optic recollect. Ye looking for another entry inside B.
Let's see if they can convert this one. Add to their stats.
Now we're cooking.
Def even the numbers back up here as he gets a nice push out, and he'll smoke Hookah to play whatever's coming in. But he does not know long has been pushed.
Obscuring vision.
Now Optic have made it inside B side. Jiggle Peaks coming out from Crashy, so he's going to spot 2 players now crossing in from Market into Sands. Don't know that a third has crossed, which is why you still see Marv looking towards spawn on the outside of B. Lots of players playing out here towards the long B. Aaron dropping in. FNS gets that headshot from the Frenzy. And now BCJ spotted inside Hookah. They spotted all 3, and BCJ and Zekin will just have to try to fight it out. Yeah, got it light, regrowth, and that was a mistiming, miscommunication. BCJ was trying to heal up Zekin so they could jump out together, but now that just split out that retake. And that's going to be Optic winning that Thrifty.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened long B, but the entire cavalry of Optic just walked through. I think maybe there was a delayed reaction off of losing Cryo. They had a bit more time to reposition, but yeah, we saw Dev jumping off without any coverage there, and Optic did a really nice job of walking around the members of XSET there to find the space onto B. Nice second round by Optic to get the Thrifty. Now they're going to push themselves again. Shower control, 3 rounds in a row. We'll keep tabs on that, but they play the same thing every round so far. Ye on Hookah, shower control, spread out.
Yeah, we just really want to try to get these Seekers out for Crashies ASAP. BCJ looking for a trap play from a flash and a peek, but the grab well comes out. Lost a player first towards Showers. There's that flash, but it's still going to be one playing the anti-flash being Crashies to be able to sweep that kill away from BCJ.
Look at the off play now. Already, Victor has decided to run out, but they can keep the idea that A is happening with the Trailblazer running all the way through sight, right? You get 6 seconds on that, so you're delaying XSET to think the rotation may be happening or not, because they're watching Trailblazer, waiting for an initiation. FNS with good positioning, but Cryo heady on the play as Spike gets planted B. Really nice misdirection here by Optic.
Now it's just important to try to save this Vandal that FNS has dropped in front of the APC, rather. Zekin pushing forward, and there you go. Crashies with 4 on the board. Seekers already online into the next round on their bonus. We'll see if they use it into something very quick as they have this bonus to convert against XSET.
Yeah. How do they make it work? Dropped over? Operator, there it is. Yeah. Ye drops his Vandal. Picks up the op. Still just 400 away from, buying a Vandal next round, so he'll have the money for full purchase when the credits come through. And the ultimates now massing for OPTIC here. Can they string this round together? It'd be one to go at the throat to knock down XSET's money. They'd be only looking at about 3,000 credits per player as we hit a hookah real quick from OPTIC.
Unfortunately, we couldn't break the trademark, so that's going to slow it down just for a bit. Definitely looked like it was going to be something quick, and from that trademark, paint shells came out from Zekin, and that's a touchdown. Victor falls. Cryo in a position from the back of the site. Oh, beautiful
Molly.
Too. Yeah, and now we're pushing in towards the elbow.
Found one.
Seekers are also clearing it out for OPTIC, allowing a free plant. The position, at least it looks better. This is one of the harder sites to retake rather in the game. And a Cosmic Divide is going to make it even harder for them to spray through from Trophy Room so that we could actually stay anchored inside the site for OPTIC. Nice shot here from Cryo. As we're going in for a wall bang onto Marvin, the numbers are drilling down on the pulse plant. The flash was a good attempt. Now Crotches is on his own. And that becomes a flawless retake from XSET. Make that being a prime gaming flawless retake for XSET on that pulse plant.
It all came down to, I think, process of elimination there for XSET. Nicely played in the way they figured out, okay, Cosmic Divide's up. We all got to get by that. Safest way is elbow. There's an operator on the other side, and they had Viper Wall and Smoke be main. So the operator's in sight. There's no way he's trying to play that behind the smokes. Really nicely scaling into sight to find those hard angles that OPTIC was trying to hold. XSET played that super smart on the retake. Flawless, like you said, to get back a gun round that OPTIC put a lot of ultimates into, if we remember correctly.
Well, thankfully for OPTIC from that Thrifty that they had in round number 2 that allows him to still get Econ into this round despite getting owned on a pulse plan. And it, again, looking to be something quick. Already one inside the site. Orbital Strike to come out on the defense. But it's still a 4 versus 4 after all that commotion inside B. A plan about to come down if they can clear a bit of space. Showstart coming out towards spawn, and that's Zekin with a tag onto Crashies. And well, good luck here onto Ye. You're about to get pinched. Does manage to get the kill onto Def. But as he TPs away, the timing on that one. Indeed, so technically here, we'll see if Ye can work some magic, because we still have 2 players that are very low on HP. That's 2 hits that he get with the Headhunter. Full clip as he comes out, breaking that trademark, and even smarter for Cryo to say, look, the spike's down towards B. I'm going to help up my team, because I know my teammates are low.
He's like, who can I bait into a fight? He has the operator. 600 credits. This would be, what, 3rd round Ross, so 2,900 on that, and maybe a frag or 2 from the round.
Left.
So still looking to remove some of these guns. It's more important, and he wants the round in 20 seconds. It's going to be a tough one, a nail closed here. Here goes the gas wall.
Flash. And the position is 3 individual 1v1s. But yeah, it's just looking for him to save his weapon here if he can't get any heroic plays. Wanted to commit onto any type of mistakes that XSET could do. And XSET, they played it even smarter.
They heard him.
Playing the numbers advantage, just keep it in. Round's going to come in now for XSET.
All right, locked it in. A nice slow one rolls out, and now OPTIC, they have a choice to make, right? It's either continue to play Victor fast and have Ye hold the extremities. There's more than this, or play Ye to the contact as per usual, because XSET has gotten themselves into positions where they're okay with the sites being taken. The retake is there, and they're figuring out how OPTIC wants to pay the post pan. So OPTIC are kind of losing these windows of opportunity where XSET has not faltered yet. Again, towards showers, you get back towards getting crashies, this ultimate. Rinse and repeat on that. So we go back to the early round strats for OPTIC here. And XSET are going to stack 4 towards A.
We still posted Ye. That's the small little layer of change here for OPTIC.
That's true.
So a little bit of conditioning to say, okay, well, they always fight towards showers. This time let's post Ye right there, and he wins that duel versus Cryo. Well, that's an op down on the defense for XSET. 3 players still stacked up on A, though. But for OPTIC, we still have a minute left on the clock. We could still default this.
Trying to see the rotation. They're still so heavily at A here. But, I mean, the call, Spike has not been picked up. So OPTIC has 40 seconds to work with on this round. A quick little Roomba goes down towards the showers.
Oh, Aaron picks up the op. So the boombot allows him to get the space, but Ye's waiting there. Aaron makes it a 4 versus 4. Now for the rest, well, it's 30 seconds left. Let's try to hit towards this B side because there's still an opera on A. Seekers are coming out for information too, so this will allow a fast road speed from exit from A to B. And BCJ still holds it towards the elbow of B site. And these fraggers are continuing to frag. BCJ with 3.
Oh my. That's what I was actually afraid of. BCJ was going to be the site that was hit. He was alone the entire time. Did not matter. He's just playing a game of cat and mouse there. Really well played around the site. 7-3-1 for him on the sky. So nicely done here. Great combo, rotating back over as well. As we look, that's the change, right? If we look at Bind, that was the Sova, I believe, that used to be on the squad for XSET. Now BCJ picking up the sky, and the info you get from being able to just sit back, guiding light, and then relay defense on a site is so good. Here it is to U-Haul right away.
Whew. Flashes and boombots too, just to deny any type of map control for Victor inside U, and that's already the full hit being held back and forcing OPTIC to even tuck the tail back between the legs and go back towards B, where we're hoping Ye to get an opener.
So quick. I mean, looking at this OPTIC composition, it's just like the U-Haul Bash team. You're going to have relay bolts in there. You're going to have FNS's utility. So I would almost expect OPTIC to have U-Haul control every single round with this composition. It's just not the case. They obviously haven't played towards it. We haven't really seen the attempt too much there. They lost Victor in a chance. And now to the long play here. They have it 3-1 split, Vansili. But again, XSET in position so quick.
Cryovan spotted the jump peak from FNS. Smoke on the defense. A battle potentially here as Marv is going to be the one that's going to have to try to open up from the window. Because the rest of the team is still held back by a Molly on the ground from that
30
Brimmy.
seconds left.
So Def, after that, repositions after that Molly to go back towards the A side just in case. But now we're finally committing inside B. And these guys, unfortunately for OPTIC, are just getting denied. There's maybe 2 rounds we're able to set pace into the site, 1 plant out of that, but then the others, we can't even cross the arches of Hookah and Long B.
Little calibration bullet there for Cryo as he resets it. But yeah, looking great. OPTIC not getting into position to get the angles they want. The early trades of each site have gone to OPTIC. I'm sorry, XSET. It's almost given OPTIC no chance to trade, to be in the right position to make it happen because of all the delay that they face. And it's kind of hard to play anti-flash when you are finally taking bind, right? Or B side on bind. Because you're either jumping in or coming out of a B main and you want to be looking forward at the angles to attack. OPTIC's going to call a timeout here as they fall 4 rounds in a row to the side of XSET. Great defensive start here for them. And honestly, Zekin showing up super well on rounds. BCJ with some solo holds that OPTIC probably should have been able to take. And it's all about that mid game now. We say this, we're like, all right, things are mounting for XSET, but when does that game where OPTIC figures out the pacing of the match start, right? It seems like that's always happening. Last map, XSET were able to stave it off. 2 in a row, though, it'd be incredibly impressive against OPTIC.
So now the only success that OPTIC has had so far on the attack is really taking Shower's control, picking up the orb. And then on to the mid-round when you try to rotate back towards B.
Here
We're asking before, what really stops them? What can they do here for XSET if they don't have that Astra anymore? Well, Aaron with the wall has been doing tremendously well with preventing the jump out, and the flash from BCJ also allows that to happen. And while you still have Zekin playing towards the A site, well, that's going to be the Boombot and support from the flashes of BCJ when he rotates over. Boobot runs down the clock and also finds the information. So off that, already a 4-player stack of XSET towards the A site. Aftershock just to push Aaron back. And it's going to be a full hit here from OPTIC, inside A site. But we actually run back right after that, because we need a re-heal coming up here from Crashies. Unfortunately, because of that, FNS has also died. And a Poison Orb is just going to foil the plans of trying to run quickly towards short A.
Cut audio, Seekers to come out here. Optic just waits a little bit. I think it's so interesting, too, that with this strategy Optic subscribed to, you're basically telling XSET you're never going to rush a site. You're running into showers to grab orbs, so XSET have a chance to breathe and set up. Otherwise, you're like we've seen rushes. Here we are. Seekers go out, fans.
Oh, unfortunately, though, it's a double stack, and at least Marvin is there to trade it out. Makes it a 2 versus 2 with heroic plays. Astral Divide right on the outside of the site, allowing him to plant safely as he hears the jumps from Death across the wall. Death rotating back over to triple where Ye's holding with the op, and now it's all up to Cryo. Operator in hand. Spike at the APC and 2 players playing the pulse plant. No stars available here from Marv, so he rotates all the way across to Showers, and this is going to make it difficult now. Window of opportunity for Cryo. Thankfully, it's back open as Ye misses the op shot. Trying to get the TPs. Phantom picked up. Ye going for the peek. And it's going to be also Marv swinging out the bathrooms, and yes, the timing was perfect. And that's finally a round coming back for Optic.
Just stomping on some U-Haul control there. Very big round by Marv to be able to get a quick little transfer on 2 face-to-face in the U-Haul. Team with great backup there. And Optic doing a great job of kind of forcing to one site. Making sure they play in this money. And we also see what they've been doing come into play as well. All of those orbs and shower finally pay off. The Seekers get them a lot of space. So that didn't just happen that round. Optic have been trying to set that up for a while and multiple times.
Now this is the good old trusty Vipers pit from Aaron, where, yes, he's been playing some Astros in the past, but you could see that gap from that pit on that left side of the window. So that if an exec comes out and he's going to have to be forced to play outside of his Vipers pit, he can still play in the boxes where I like to call the Aaron spot. He's gotten so many kills off that box, playing outside of any smokes coming down. And for Optic, they're trying to see if they want to probe in this first.
Yeah. Yay contact right now. Long B. I think we've seen maybe 1 or 2 frags happen there. Nobody else has peeked long B. They don't, not giving Yay anything. Even to the point where we saw them walk up and kill Def in the back because nobody was long B after the peek on that round. So, a switch back over to the right side. One of the times that XSET has not had shower control early. Let's see if it pains them here as they go for a mid play and U-Haul control now.
Trailblazer fast lane out to take U control, and there you go.
So
finally, Victor gets an opener in there. We still have yet to make it inside the site for a plant, and that's FNS now moving forward. After this plant needs 1 more kill for the Rolling Thunder, as a little bit of a timing that didn't work out for the Molly on the ground for delays here from Def. 2 players playing inside U-Haul for Optic. 1 playing the anti-flash. Crashes on contact. No flash coming in. But the dual combination of the op kill of Cryo then onto the Vandal. What is going on with this?
No.
It's a 3 versus 2. Ye trying to save the round, misses the shot and force a TP away. And we are closing the gap now for XSET for the retake. Jump spotting Marv here onto short A. The wall coming up. Ye landing the shot. Clock is ticking down, so Def has to start sticking it at least to halfway. Aaron needs to put this wall down so he can try to get a kill. Puts the wall down for the first kill, and the second one onto Marv. And the fuse is going to come in for Def, and he puts 6 on the board.
If you have a bingo clock that says things that shouldn't happen, mark it now. Holy crap. No way. Cryo got 3 kills in U-Haul. He's like, oh, Marv, you like fighting in U-Haul? I got 3 for you. And just giving the medicine back. That was absurd. Like you said, playing the anti-flash too. Trying to set themselves up in the top-down double peek. But it was just enough for the collapse. And Aaron here to step up for the defuse for Def. I literally couldn't have been played any better by XSET there. They take that round right out of the hands of Optic.
Bro, that's one of the things that you said that shouldn't happen, which is why I called this a double combination kill with a bullet instead of a collateral, just because I was flabbergasted by that. But Victor made it inside the spawn, almost gets the kill. Ziking out 1 HP indeed. Pull out that hashtag up to the 1 HP. Aaron trying to go to work, able to drop 2. Arm shot missed, but Cryo could still reset with the Headhunter getting a body shot there. On to Crashies. As Crashies and FNS are the last 2 to go. So the fake into B site didn't work out too well. At least we'll get a plant down for some money. Paint shells now.
One enemy remaining.
Crushy stuck out in the open. Not going to work out.
Yeah.
But at least, again, we talked about the econ, so they'll have some money to work with into the next after that plant.
That was a feeling it round, though. You definitely saw it in XSET, playing a little loose, feeling good. You got that same vibe when they kept rushing B with gusto on Haven. It feels good. They're covering each other's angles. Obs are doing a great job of showing just how XSET is smothering OPTIC, so great job on that. Aaron now, see what the purchase is. Over $5 grand. What does he want? It's just a Phantom. Easy, playing inside the Viper smokes and through the walls. Why not? 7-3 here as XSET have a demanding first half on defense, and their attacks have been even scarier throughout this series. OPTIC have their work cut out for them here. Let's see what happens with this double smoke comp here for the 11th round from XSET. How will they thwart the side of OPTIC, who goes back to the shower play, but the variation again, fans, they don't have Sky there.
And they at least use the Aaron utility to try to push the Neon back, but it's still going to be OPTIC that retaliates on the other end. And Zekin does the same. Out with the showstopper, does not land for the kill. Thinking that OPTIC was going to run in, following behind that. Seekers also for more information, but that's through smokes. So this is a good opportunity for OPTIC to just wait this out and re-hit a little bit later down, if they could cut the noise, and try to get XSET guessing. And as they guess, it's another flash coming out.
Marv down to a star now. Right, that was a smoke and a bit of pressure from Def to make sure that they couldn't come up mid. Throwing the whole kitchen sink at him. They're still going to try for it, though. There go your stars. Actually, a recall one comes in, so they do have two to block the back of the site.
Seekers right away, too. BCJ, as he gets stunned, it's still 1-for-1 across the board. Nice job so far from both ends, but we still have Zekin alive. And the smoke who runs out on the timing lines up too. The trip kill into the round, leaving now Crashy's on his own. 19 HP, the one that started the Seekers to get information. And now he's going to have to be the one that's going to try to clutch it. And as he looks out, Zekin gets a 4K. Ooh. Yeah, so he throws a showstopper here. Riven is already halfway there for the last round.
Right. He got 7 kills in the last round. 2 rounds, sorry. 3 and a 4. Holy macarons. All right, 16 and 6. He was going off as well on Haven on the Jet. They're absolutely cleaning up these rounds and doing it with just a few members of the team, which makes it even harder because OPTIC then has that much more to go through. 8-3 here, possible 9-3 for your first half in XSET. Operators are flying still for Cryo. We do have a Guardian coming out for FNS as they just don't have enough to squeeze out the money. Shower control starts again, Van Silly. Get Cryo.
You're right if you potentially call it an 8-4 as well, right? So goes both ways.
Could be.
And that starts off well, at least with that 8-4 as OPTIC gets the first blood, and that's Cryo falling down once again. Another one picking up the op right behind him. Somehow, another Viper's Pit comes out from XSET. And as to try test it in true here for Aaron, what could help them clear out is a Trailblazer, is what we're trying to use or talk about last time to try to help re-clear inside the pit. That's where Crash is moving up with them. Aaron on the back. They're pinging on the left side shed.
Toxins going up.
So potentially look for a walkout. Oh my god. So they tried to go for the contact play, and Aaron is able to drop down too.
BCJ is having a game, then.
Yeah, he's having fun too, man.
He is. He is.
And unfortunately, it's not going to work out for the rest of the players of OPTIC. BCJ with a nice flash kill onto that last one. We do have that 9-3 scoreline in the end, and it hasn't been a curse. Well, maybe it has been. We'll see what happens after the break. As we mentioned before, the 9-3 curse could be a curse for some, but for XSET, at least on this map, doesn't look like it's going to be leaning towards that way just because they've been playing this first half so well, Riv.
They have, and it's kind of a thing we've seen out of XSET, win or lose in their tournaments. I mean, Def even tweeted about it recently that, you know, XSET's never been a team that was bad. Even with changes, they've always gone up. Maybe had plateaus when they added someone new, but this isn't a team that ebbed down. They flow, and they flow hard. And it's going to be a quick push by Victor here as I just got a quick crow foot in the mouth. As a push from OPTIC comes in. But it has been noticed from XSET. They always place high. They're always in these positions. And this time, they're making it count. Can they grab another pistol of this series?
Ye's getting a second kill, or should I say a first kill. Second combined for OPTIC, as we talked about the flow for XSET. It's been an overflow of OPTIC on Lone B to start things off. Aaron trying to answer back as he pushes Force Pipes with this frenzy, but there's still too many players overflowing for OPTIC on the retake. Def is going to be on his own on a 4 versus 1. Big flash, they know he's there. Now they just lean in on the angle. The spacing in the trade.
Bang, bang.
Not even needed on the trade as OPTIC gets the pistol.
Already a bit different than Haven. XSET was able to grab those first 2 pistols. OPTIC stave the bleeding off after this first half by grabbing a 4th right away here in half number 2. And there's the buy, one after the other. It looks like we will see XSET going in for a bit of cash here. They're going to put themselves down on low. Zek and Stay? They actually decide to go with BCJ, dropping the weapon.
I think it makes total sense. Have that guy being your initiator, flash for everybody else as you run it down here for XSET on the Spectre round.
Yeah. Okay.
I really want to take control of Sands here into Hookah now for XSET. All right, well, at least now with the pain shells clearing out towards Hookah, we forced out position from Marv to retreat back under window. Trailblazer, there you go, finally spawns for a bit. We talked about the initiator utility. He's actually playing out on his own because the rest of them are just moving out with the Spectres for the trades. So now it opens up here for XSET to get into B site for a plant. Crash is getting tagged a little bit through the smoke, so we identify one player on defense trying to pull back and run that clock down, or at least try to hold it so that the rest can rotate over from the spawn. And unfortunately, it doesn't work out from the spawn and from even elbow. XSET get a beautiful push on the attack second round.
Super clean. And the identify, because they didn't identify, but as they got into B site, the fact that they didn't receive any breach utility for at least 10 seconds of taking it really let them know what the setup was, right? They didn't hear Ye, they didn't hear breach, which means OPTIC was set up for a defensive play on A to fault line and reset. So the smokes that XSET has, the quick takes, the flashes, worked perfectly. They're met with breach utility there, it becomes a whole different story. So great choice. OPTIC now trying to put the pace in their own hands as we get a stim beacon up mid.
Yeah, this is OPTIC on another buy. So we're buying and forcing.
Oh my gosh.
Vandal Hero buy for Ye as he's playing towards Showers to protect it, and it works out for the kill onto Death. And the other rotates across. Aaron only able to trade off one, but they have to stack up in the crossfire from Cryo, who gets another timing onto Crashies. And Ye with only 15 HP. May seem like we just give this round away. Oh no, we lost the Vandal too. BCJ continues to have fun into this round.
Yeah.
I'd love to get one of those comm videos from XSET, because BCJ on these camera rolls has been lighting it up. I don't know how many F-bombs maybe I've read through his lips.
Yeah, seriously, he loves it. And he's like super invigorated when he gets that play style. Some players are cool. You get a Nats, he won't show you emotion. He'll just keep doing it. He'll lurk into your brain and your dreams. And like BCJ feels like he's kind of in that same place. He's playing more so thinking of what OPTIC is going to do than what am I going to do to win this situation, which is why he looks like he's one step ahead here in the plays, taking out 2Ks, 3Ks. You got Zek in last half picking up a 3 into a 4K. The solo play coming from XSET is getting stronger and stronger, and you may even say stronger in this series than we've seen before here from across the team, with Aaron stepping up as well recently. It's just everything, because it doesn't have to be Cryo, as we see Van Silly. I have to call this timeout to see if they can get themselves sorted. I don't feel like they got enough rounds on attack with this composition. XSET did a great job of not falling prey to this just stun factory that you're supposed to get a hit with as OPTIC was attacking. And now as XSET are on attack, they get to dictate, again, this double controller composition, what angles they want to make and how much they want to slow OPTIC down by putting a wall in their face. So we'll see how it plays into this round. OPTIC coming out of a timeout. Do they pressure across the map? It looks like they are taking more of a forward position here everywhere. Oh, they hear noise, though, and they instantly back off to reset Vansili. XSET just not hold the gravity well.
That allows Marv to get a kill here with the Spectre, and Ye's flashed out towards Showers. Does have the build-up false orbital strike to come out, forcing him out of position, too. That's an easy kill for Def. And now, advantage for Optic. Another force buy coming in for the defender side. As this is a story of Optic being played by these forces, where it hasn't been working out in their early rounds, and they always had to fight in a deficit. Now at least it looks to be the victory as FNS picks up the last kill against Cryo.
Yeah. Nice setup. An early look into Hookah, I think, from Optic as they pushed up towards Sand, gave them the idea that they could rotate fast. We kind of saw them peeling out of B right away. And you mentioned it, that kind of forced hand that is happening in these strategies from XSET, right? You're ulting Showers. Whoever's in Showers is going to have to come out to peak. These fights are happening. So Optic must be there to anchor for each other on these trades. That time setup, really nice, knowing XSET has kind of just been off the cuff hitting these sites really fast. See if they do it again here. They're going to try to create a little long pressure, maybe. The guiding light goes out. They stack towards A this time, but still forward positions from both FNS and Ye, right? More info Optic's trying to gain right away in these rounds, and maybe even quick kills.
Here are the footsteps of players moving forward, but not from the POV of the defenders here of Optic, so Crashies is still going to have to jiggle peek for info. Finally, he pings it. Star on the ground here from Marv. They might flash and go for the gravel off contact, potentially, if we try to retaliate, but it's just going to be one to stay calm, and it's going to be a smoke up instead. We take the advantage to allow the attackers to flash and come through, but that's two players that meets him just at the Octagon. Second flash gets shot inside the smoke, but BCJ still gets the headshot onto Victor. Seekers are now coming out. The 3 versus 3. As that gives info on the players moving in towards spawn, and that last Seeker being killed, well, okay. We know that the rotation's already really close for Optic. So the heal comes up from BCJ. They could look to reset if they want to, but they're assigned to cut noise for now.
Here.
Might have time for another guiding light for the side of BCJ. It's going to be late, though. Whoa, the molly to backside to clear to push.
No
they
way.
displace Optic in their defense without knowing where they are. But a huge play from Ye!
BCJ on a 1 versus 1, though. FNS outside towards Hookah. He makes the 180 and the headshot for the Red Bull clutch. How is this going on here for BCJ?
Who is this guy? Who the hell is this
insane.
guy? Playoffs BCJ? Oh my gosh. I would love to see if he's ever done something like this before in a fashion on a different agent Vansili. XSET again coming to bind with a different composition. BCJ again is a part of that happening as he's the one to be flexing. And oh yeah. Yeah, man is vibing right now. What a game from him. What a game.
Still have to give it to Aaron, too. The snake bite in the back of the
course.
site and a snake bite towards spawn.
It all has to start with the assist somewhere, right?
Yeah. And now a change of pace from Optic. Backs against the wall on potentially their best map. And Valent's mentioned it before. They're potentially the best team in the world right now on Bind, and they're getting thrashed by XSET now. And while we're talking about the change of pace, it's a flank coming in from Victor only with pistols. Because he had the overdrive at the beginning of the round, but the TPs come out as Marv gets caught by BCJ after he was able to get 2 kills.
Marv's had a run of it too. He's been getting a few of these double frags, trying to open up the rounds from the controller position. Definitely putting a mark on these. That's a big one.
Because of the forward position, he definitely heard BCJ rotate back. Def trying to fight forward.
The creeps in this map, man. The whole series has had some really, really neat creeps around the map.
Yeah, the joys of playing a Neon right now just to try to get that early forward position. And Optic, they survive at least another round as Victor gets that headshot to death.
All right. Optic, a little room to breathe. I'd say there's still an iron lung plugged in for them right now. They have to work their way out of this economy, too. Right? You do see a bit of money for Marv as he's had some frags. He's been able to sit back and have a few rounds where he's not the one going down. But other than that, XSET has been able to run this game. We'll see the first time OPTIC might be able to string a few rounds together here with that economy being so tarnished. Ye's even on an alt suit, so if they can get an orb and even go half on this round, they have tour de force next round. They're actually facing it with Cryo here in round 19.
Nice opener.
Pivotal.
And that is still going to calm things down for a bit, though, because all the rest of XSET, with the spike being down towards the staircase of Spice, they're just trying to probe and feel out the map a bit here as they are on this lower buy.
What does that get him? Ooh, orbital strike too. We've actually seen a lot of orbital strikes just being displacement, space taken recently. Just being able to fire it off and clear a certain area so your team can push. Marved on point with a lot of his first encounters, whether it be the first of the round or the one he gets here. And it does not look like XSET will continue to pressure just yet. They have a bit of time here to let Cryo work.
Oh, the timing! What is that?
Well, Prime Gaming Flawless here for OPTIC, as thankfully here for XSET we still have plenty of rounds to work with. I'm pretty sure there's still a timeout to work with here for XSET, so if it gets to those moments, you know that Psycho's going to call those out just to make sure that we are able to close it out into this map and not have another comeback OT that gets repeated from map number 1. And as we just mentioned it, there's that timeout right away here.
Yeah. So what has been the play? What is that best play so far? We haven't really seen XSET put themselves towards one spot too much. We only have about 3 of their attacking rounds that did play out the way they wanted it, and one of those was just an eco where they, or I'm sorry, a force buy on round 14 where they forced themselves into B. So maybe that becomes the play. They create all the angles that they want, right? That's one of the benefits of double controller. Like, even if you just have this wall, you get all the smokes that you want. How do they play it?
And for OPTIC side, too, they're just trying to find something, trying to exploit any of these gaps. And it worked out when they were playing these aggressive plays, at least when we're looking at it from the pistol round. And then that flank that we saw from Victor when they were on desperate measures, backs against the wall. So will they try to continue these off timings as XSET continuing to default and losing the early duels against Victor, too, on these pushes? So
yeah,
we'll see if OPTIC wants to leverage that this time, though. There's just too many people. We're overextending our stay. And door has been shut. Marved on his own. Forced back inside window, and the GG comes out for a pinch from Victor, and that's not good enough. 5 versus 2. As now we have one more pushing forward. It's going to be Aaron inside you. FNS in the back of the APC trying to catch his timing across, and it doesn't work out. That's from a beautiful molly from Death. That kept FNS preventing him from getting inside the smoke. And Marv is now going to have to go for an ace for the Red Bull clutch. And the last Seeker on top of the trademark. Why not? BCG, like I said, has been feeling it this map. And after the swings, the Prime Gaming Flawless as XSET put 13-7 on OPTIC's best map.
Incredible stuff coming in from XSET right now. They continue to play the map to where these last 2 ones, it doesn't seem like OPTIC can get that read. That's been one of the most important things. That's one of the best ways that OPTIC adapts to the game is they read the way you're playing, start to basically play that way, and then somehow turn it into their own game. And then you're playing OPTIC's game. Here, OPTIC has been forced to play XSET's game, and that's not something we see very often.
I was just looking at BCJ riled up throughout the whole map, and then as they win it...
What was he this game?
Good job. Just good job. Good job for XSET here for this map. We now have another game in our hands as XSET take the lead in a series. Let's see what happens after the break.
OPTIC definitely find themselves in a bit of a conundrum here as they lose Bind in Game 3, and XSET walk away with a 2-1 lead. Welcome back, everyone, to the Analyst S here. Golden Boy alongside with Mimi and Valen as we break it all down. This is certainly not the result, Mimi, that I was expecting coming into this. This is a great map for OPTIC. We felt pretty good about it. And push comes to shove, I would definitely say XSET push right back.
Yeah, I mean, OPTIC come into things. They have a completely new composition. They pull the Neon on out, but XSET, with that defensive start, we're looking so strong. Players like Zekin and BCJ leading the charge to have so many impeccable retakes. This squad was really had a great understanding of how to play against the Neon. They would give release space, fight back in on those retakes, and found a lot of effect. And what made it more impressive was so often they were losing out on that first blood, but just winning out on these magical 4v5s.
Yeah, the mid-rounding from XSET on defense there was beautiful. They know with the Neon comp, they have to kind of play back and give the space because of the double stuns and the Astra Suck. So they said, all right, you guys can have showers. We're going to retake it with our Sky utility. We're going to retake it with pushing through together. And it was just beautiful. They always knew where OPTIC was going. And when you kind of have those mid-round information plays, it just sets you up for future success in the round.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about Def when we talk about this team, but credit where credit's due to Aaron. He had a great game individually, and also as that defensive-sided caller, I'm sure was one of the players thinking of a lot of those ideas on how to counter out this Neon.
Yeah, it goes to show just how disciplined and prepared this XSET team is. You could tell that they are hungry for this opportunity to go to champions. It's right there. There will be no question about it. They would, not have to go through the LCQ. They'll forever shed that 4th place curse. They are literally right there. They just have to win one more. But Valen, I know that you had a round you wanted to break down to kind of illustrate why this team has been playing so well.
Yeah, I mean, if we can just get the round up. So right here, OPTIC is trying to execute A in a perfect molly from Def to push them off of showers, and basically it leaves FNS on an island because FNS is expecting his teammates to come out of showers, but they get hard stuffed, and OPTIC's calls to regroup short A, and Zekin just hard clear short. Right now, what's happening is they know that the op is on a B line because they did not see the op on A, so they're going to go back and flash B long to try to clear the op out, but it actually doesn't hit Cryo. Right now we see Crashy's going back. He's going to throw the flash. It does not clear Cryo, and Cryo has the alarm bot to play for himself. So XSET is going to stay on a 4A setup. They're walking up, which is great from OPTIC. They're not showing where they are. They're getting very deep space. And from right here, it's perfectly played from both teams, but XSET getting that mid-round information and not moving. Cryo just so disciplined to stay on the B long line the whole round, not rotating, and it gives them the advantage in the late game. OPTIC actually comes out with this round, but you can't play this better than what you did. XSET played this perfectly fine, but just towards the end, OPTIC got some key kills, and it just went their way.
And again, it's so many of these rounds that come down to just those force errors. OPTIC doing something incredibly well to set themselves up for success, but XSET, again, in those moments where things slip away, they had the discipline to hold back, wait to play that retake as a team. It kept on winning them out in these rounds. Really an impeccable map there out of XSET.
Yeah, and I think, Valen, to illustrate your point, it just shows that even though, yes, OPTIC did win the round, there was just so much that was taken away from them in that exchange, because that's really like the name of this game, at least on Bind here. It was very clear that XSET were extracting every little bit that they possibly could from OPTIC.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, XSET not having Cryo rotate there was a very key moment, because if Cryo was a little undisciplined and got off that line and then OPTIC froze, they're like, oh, they could be going back B long. Oh, we heard the flash. Maybe they're going back B. But no, they stay true to their setup. They trust the A hold and the B hold, and perfect.
Yeah, and that consistency out of Cryo as an anchor on the defensive side meant that Zekin and BCJ so often as that roam duo were finding early success for XSET.
Oh, I'm really glad you mentioned BCJ, man, because so many moments in that game that BCJ have these clutch moments, these clutch opportunities, the pop-offs. You could tell that BCJ is vibing right now, Mimi.
Yeah, he's feeling it. I mean, that game against FaZe last night, he was excellent, and in this one as well, having some big moments. But I want to talk about a quote that Def actually gave in an interview to Dexerto just a little bit ago, talking about BCJ, not just as an individual player, but how he is kind of meshing in towards that team. BCJ is a player that feeds off the moment. He has some of the best input in the moment, where I believe that was in reference to when you're taking a tactical pause, when you're trying to find that adaptation in the mid-round, which has been very important playing against OPTIC. When it gets later in maps, finding the adaptations, especially when OPTIC is bringing out new ideas, new comps, BCJ is a voice in that. And I think beyond that, he's just a fun player. I think you kind of talk about like the actual IGL, the person making the calls, but also the emotional leader in team, that person that's keeping everyone's vibes up, who's having fun. And I mean, you can just see in the reaction, BCJ is that guy. He's having fun. He's keeping his teammates in check and helping them to win out these rounds.
Yeah, I mean, he's enjoying the moment. He's just playing the game, vibing with the boys. And I've personally played with BCJ in like smaller tournaments, you know, just boys playing the game. And I can vouch that in the moment, he's very smart. He understands how to make these adjustments. And I think he's a very key player for this team. Yes, Def calls on T side. Yes, Aaron calls on CT. But BCJ is the player who's giving perfect input in the moment, so the IGLs have a lot easier time making these decisions.
And I think that's impressive because this is a team with a lot of voices. We've heard that Second can be a voice in the team sometimes. BCJ is, and so too are the two actual callers for this one.
Where's the
Being
dancing?
able to balance all that is great. And there it is.
There it is.
I mean, how can you not have fun? This is probably another incredibly pressuring match for this team, and this guy's just chilling out. He's just having a good time. Just having a good time.
Honestly, there's nothing better than just playing a game with your mates and just chilling out, having a good time, vibing out.
Yeah, and that's the best way to play, honestly. When you kind of bottle up and, oh, I want to win so bad. Oh, like, you kind of like you feel the pressure. But when you're just vibing, you're relaxed, you're having fun. And from personal experience, that's the best way to play in these tournaments.
And we've seen that from XSET before. They have a tendency to crack in the pressured matchups. When they're one game away from qualification, they have lost so many times. But this tournament, gloves are off, they're having fun.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the agent select for Ascent. Just so you guys, you know, a little jogging of the memory here, OPTIC did win 13-11 when they played Ascent last. And interesting food for thought, though, Valen, is that OPTIC, they had an incredible defense, and they actually held XSET to just 2 wins on the attack. So that's something that's going to be in the back of the head of XSET here for sure.
Yeah, I mean, OPTIC's comp really caters to their defense. Because of the triple initiator, you can always fight for the extremities, have mid-round information with the prowlers, the knife, the dart, the drone. You just have so much information, which sets up your players to be in the right spot at the right time. If you only have 1 or 2 initiators, you might have that gap of when your knife is on cooldown, you don't know where the team is, which could lead to misdirections or, you know, just like outplays from XSET, which get them on the wrong side.
This is a composition that really is about balancing the timings between the Aster, between those 3 initiators, and I think OPTIC does a really great job at it. The player I'm looking at, though, is one on XSET. That's Cryo. This is the map where he gets to play the primary duels. He's on that jet against FaZe last night. He did great against the triple initiator comp, but I think OPTIC implements the composition better than FaZe, so it's going to be tough.
Yep. You did mention that yesterday, the triple initiator. Cryo had to deal with it, and he did so. Can Lightning strike twice for this team? Can XSET also walk away with a win and walk away with the entirety of this series as they are at series point? Let's send it over to your casters to get the game going. It's going to be Rivington and Vencilli. Over to you guys.
I thought Riv was just going to AFK for a second, but it's just the elevator move. We're ready. It's map number 4. This is Ascent, and a map where this should have been a victory for XSET, and they let it slip through their fingers when they actually saw how OPTIC played the defender side. The thing is, for OPTIC, though, they only got 3 rounds on the attack, and with this triple initiator, though, I still feel that they have good agents to be able to take control of Cat, where XSET is usually strong at, with Def and VCJ usually playing there. But that's going to have to come down to later into the map. We're starting the first half here with OPTIC on defense, and see where XSET wants to take this towards mid.
I feel like OPTIC is preparing a comp for Pearl here. Let's see. They're pushing out into mid. It looks like smoke cover is going to come in. No, a little forward pressure towards Cat. We see that first. So they know that mid is going to be the hover. This flash through, it's going to be a little bit of a pop flash. No, they choose not to.
Oh, gets his right clicks. There you go.
Oh, the right. Oh, he goes.
I was going to say, that's so close for the right click sometimes, too, or maybe a little bit too far. The spread would have made him miss for a bit, but he recomposes with the left clicks for the kill. Meanwhile, though, another has fallen, and Aaron has snuck through, at least through a main. And that's a flash for not a swing. So this is an opportunity here, just on the other edge. FNS around the corner with his own frenzy. Easy kill.
So good.
And now Zekins in the back of mid. Headshot onto the first, looking towards the back. Crashies now being met up by Victor from B-Link. And they're just going to watch that spike. Don't fight it. Don't give the distance. It is Zekin after all. And just watch that spike. I think that's the good play here for OPTIC.
A little flash there towards Cat was really, really neat. It's like, why are you going to flash, right? And no one peek off it. So you could easily see how it gets misconstrued that they could peek out. A few kills come through, but it doesn't matter in the end. Neat stuff happening all around and the cooler stuff for OPTIC. First round for them. Pretty methodical play as they just held out that center of the map, knowing it's what XSET wanted to grab. XSET, though, feeling out the map themselves, as we see for that first round. No plant, no buy. And Ye is just going to go again, secondary headhunter here. Bulldog, Victor, as he's choosing back and forth. He'll stick with the Spectre. It looks like they will go for a B crunch here as they push out a little bit.
Yeah, and this spike has not even been picked up, so
No.
despite them potentially want to go for some sort of default or whatnot, having that spike all the way down towards spawn, it's going to run that clock down not in your favor once you want to try to start hitting towards the site. Is usually here, as you can see, the position from Aaron on that radar. With that turret on B-Link, he's not going to be the one that's going to pull back to pick up that spike, because he has to watch those aggressive pushes that Optic may do here on this map.
As always, you know, checklist for XSET here. Find Ye as one of them. It's not imperative, but it always helps to figure out where he's going to try and play an aggressive rendezvous situation. That may be on Aaron right now, as they have a push towards A long, too. So a bit of pressure on both sides of the map here as XSET looks to see what's going on from the side of Optic. Great kill, though, on BCJ.
Yeah, and even if the Haunt only spotted one player, it was good enough to run a trap play into the entrance of A. Now, filtering everybody back towards the B site. Crashies, again, another situation where, unfortunately, don't clear the corner for XSET. As Aaron's going to be left on his lone with low HP. Crashies with a trip kill. I said it was actually still 2 players left, sorry, and Cryo was at least able to stop that for a bit, getting the second kill for XSET. But the result's still the same. Optic get the second round.
That was clean from Optic. Obviously giving up the mains right away of both B and A. The longer the round went on, they said, okay, we have 2 at each site that makes a safe push. B main taken control of over there by Crashies as well as Ye, and they take A back. So Optic not letting XSET just do whatever they want in these rounds. We saw that being a little bit of a plague for Optic previously, as XSET would run it down to about 40 seconds. Optic's defense would be diffused, their original setup, and they're not buying into that, at least the early rounds here. As we start off round 3, our bonus for Optic is going to actually put them in mid control. They've been playing solely off the trademark in mid. Now they put pressure in mid with the trademark B main.
And the
So
0 point
close.
gets broken too. So this allows Ye to still play inside the smoke. The spray's coming out from XSET.
Oh,
Ye's just dodging everything like Neo and able to get that kill onto BCJ, but they've lost Marv. Both smokers down on either side, and still going to be an even 4 versus 4. Trap now broken here from Aaron. So he gets a timing across.
Quick drone mid there kind of slowed everything down. That's why you see XSET backing up. Crashies on Cat has now rotated off. So they're thinking this reset is B. They're right on 1. Crashies is going to be there, but this now could throw him for a loop. Again, a round where XSET hits both sites just about at the same time. This time, they get the advantage on A.
That was just the perfect lurk there from Aaron to get that kill.
Yeah.
That forced Ye to jump up. Oh, crap. It's going towards the A side. He jumps out in the open, gets picked off, but here comes another flank. So we have 2 simultaneous battles here on both ends, and great job to the observers to catch all of that. And it's just going to be Crashies by himself on B site, and he's going to save his weapon, most likely a 3 versus 1. And you've already lost so much time here into the round, and he's making sure that he's in a great spot to save his weapon. So XSET, they put 1 to the board.
Yeah. So I'm interested now, as we'll keep an eye on XSET and how they play this, is you don't have a chamber, so the KJ is usually the one to keep an alarm bot or something across the map and have a bit of a flank, right? That flank we usually see going through mid. It's now been through B almost twice for Aaron. So when does it go through mid, right? How are XSET going to diversify this kind of 4-1 they're working with Aaron on the sides, working this flank? So far having pretty good impact on that round. See if they can do it again. Looks like they will set up for a bit more of a default across the map, but we'll keep an eye on that strat as we get into a buy round here. What are you doing, BCJ? Just a late buy. Okay.
Well, slight technical there, but you know it's
testing
open.
out.
You don't really need to shrouded step in on the attacker side,
Does this
all right?
work?
Unless it's 2020 again. You're just getting the best entries with the TPs inside A site.
Ooh, tagged him. So here we have the lurk again, right? You kind of have Aaron off by himself, but it's now a 3-2 as they move forward. We'll see how this one pans out for XSET. Still the same setup for OPTIC, though. They continue to just have Ye be in mid at this point. So he can be first contact. Yep, the
Ye might
pressure
get
and
caught off
rendezvous.
guard. Oh my god, now he has the upper hand. He has the upper hand for 2 kills. Unfortunately, off that, the battle towards A main. BCJ still trying to keep the dream alive into this round. In Zekin, as he's trying to run for a smoke, Marv greets him as he swings out towards the entrance, and now it's Zekin's turn.
Oh my gosh.
What is going on with these backstabs?
I don't know. I think everybody turned their headphones off this round. All right, we got the plan going down.
Door gets broken up. The haunt spots Zekin.
Oh, Jesus.
Prowler chases him, and now he's tucked inside hell. But can he get the jiggles here? He cannot. Crashes gets the kill, and that's OPTIC with the round.
100% of the time, anytime a fade is left versus a person, I love that the observers watch the person because it's like a horror movie. You're literally chased down by everything, tethered, blind, deaf. Oh my word, like that is scary stuff. Great job by OPTIC to smother retake as well to make sure that round goes in their favor. I do not fault Ye for giving it the crouch and spray there because that would have been sexy for the 3K. He does go down though for his troubles. The team's still able to pick it up though. What a nice start. And that pressure pays off. OPTIC has been trying to take a bit of control in mid. There, XSET forgets about that situation and they pay for it.
So into this round, we're pulling out the Duel de Force, a knife spawning. Cryo, who's still playing on the top of the boxes, and Ye did not expect that. So not running away when you're being dismantled by the KO knife, it's good enough for an early advantage here for XSET as they have this mixed buy going in. The hero rifle for Cryo. Prowler trying to find information. The beauty of getting the 3 initiators just to figure out after this what's going on, because we've also pressed forward to get position towards A main with Marv. Blinded ult here from Zekin with no kills. No, why? It looks like it was a tag potentially onto FNS too.
They've already cleared out drone on B main. Do they actually want this? They have been playing off other sites. It's not the first time they'd be ulting and going somewhere else, but it looks like they will take B here. Quick TP in.
Because of the big backstab that you had here from Marv in the top of mid. Didn't allow for any fakes to happen. They tried to go for a mid to B split for XSET in the end. Recon dart to get some information. 3 players now on the defense trying to go for the retake. Double up in the back of the site. Zekin with a phantom. Other one with the classic. But it's still going to be Zekin that lines them up.
1v1.
It's a 1 versus 1. BCJ with a pistol. Can he come up huge? Cosmic Divide on top of that, showing the respect and sticking on to at least halfway.
Holding.
BCJ does not have the paranoia, but he has a phantom. But it's just going to be the full stick here from Marv, who also gets to kill into BCJ. A nice attempt, though, for XSET at least, as they've done so much damage into the round. But it's still going to be OPTIC's round.
What a squeaker. What a diffuse. We've had so many holds on this series so far. 2 from XSET, now 1 from OPTIC. And XSET's going to get a timeout on that one. Really just to make sure, I think, the players aren't getting in their heads. Reset, run this composition as it should be run. They got into sight, and then they kept peeking the extremities there. It seemed like OPTIC had no trouble really approaching the site from both sides. Thought that backstab would be a little more effective. Here we have OPTIC 4 and 1. Crashy's having a game for himself here as Zekin on the sofa, picking it up.
It almost felt dangerous from Marv to run his own Cosmic Divide that close to himself, because what happens if you put it halfway and you try to step away? You're not really doing anything for yourself at that point, and you're just hoping that your opponent runs through the wall. But it could have been a timing where your opponent just runs through the wall as well. But big balls on him to just continue to hold it to the end.
That's the thing. Pros don't fake, even when it's your own smoke.
Yeah.
Set up right in front of your enemy's face, right? I think we know Marv for those clutch situations and being able to kind of play in his opponent's head at anywhere. Any situation.
Heading to the above.
See how they set up? Final map being Breeze on this one, I feel like plays into that favor of Optic, and this map pool has to be honest, so XSET has really fought back against the current to get where they are. But we know Optic consistency, and it looks like it seems to be coming online for the first map here if they really start to take a lead. And this defense is just going to really lay in wait for XSET to make the move. Mid control is again taken away by Optic. They put the trademark back in and they focus the extremities now. So Optic again change up the play style as XSET are looking for these frags. They're hunting them down but getting nothing.
This is what Valen was talking about before too. Initiators controlling the extremities. If this trap gets broken, what can you do? Well, FNS is playing towards B. They can run Prowler for information on mid, but they do it towards long B instead. As Cryo's pushing back towards mid, but does not catch Marv, down to 17 HP. But as everybody recollects towards mid, you're now pushing forward on a defense where you've already blocked down the entrance of A site. Spike is yet to be picked up here by XSET, but with the time remaining, it looks like you have to pivot towards the A site. And that's Marv with an opener there too.
30 seconds left.
The long.
Easy kill there.
Gonna do
Victor.
Dink.
Def does get the kill with the Vandal, though. They're traded back. But there's 18 seconds left. Nice flick there from Crashies. Recon into the site. And you have to commit now for the last two players of XSET, or you save your weapons. It's either or. And it's going to be the first option to try to run in for a plant. Nice kill, at least from Zekin.
Oh my god!
A triple kill from Zekin, leaving only FNS on his own. But unfortunately loses on time, and that's going to be the Red Bull clutch, and you got to thank the gods that time was on your side for Optic.
What is it with last second rounds right now? Was it a cryo yesterday? Oh, it's definitely one of the chain. I can't remember if it was cryo. I apologize for bringing it up since I couldn't remember it. But what the hell was that?
Clutch.
Putting his name in the hat for flick of the day.
In we go.
That was kind of incredible right there.
At least thankfully here for Optic, they're able to work their economy back now to, or still keep a good economy to have a gun round here. But it's going to be the null command just to change the pace for XSET. Running in quickly inside B. Hunter's Fury on top of that on the back of Zekin. And look at that. Nobody's playing it here for Optic. We're just going to have to play the retake with triple initiator into B, and that's good enough sometimes. Which is why here BCJ's TPing all the way back towards spawn. But Ye waits for him.
So much flank control and pressure. Like,
that's it, right? Once they move in now into the B site, we talked about the initiator's utility.
Yeah.
There saw the knife in the back of the site that actually pinged out Zekin. Counter knife gets sprayed, luckily through the wall, so that does not disable anybody there, allowing Ye to pick up 4 kills and Crashes on the 5th. That's a clean retake now for Optic.
I mean, they're coming in there with Marv going down pretty early. Also, the 0 point coming out. So these are fire fights. Like, these are anchored angles. Optic swinging wide and short together. Really great team play to be able to bring these rounds back in their favor, excuse me. Because that was XSET now going for a B strat, right? They've kind of given up, floundering in mid, trying to find a kill. Optic hasn't been giving that. See if they set up again differently on this round. Looks like they'll put up the trademark, and then he may go back to Cat for a peek. As Ye sets up here for another round, they're going to push out. Boom, right there with Victor to try and gain control over mid.
We have a setup now from Victor to hopefully go for a swing if Ye is going to get pressured on first contact on Catwalk. And that's where players are moving forward here for XSET. And there's that frag. But the flash is not even needed for Victor because Ye just got that frag.
Victor's over here. You need me to flash? Flash yet?
Nope.
Flash now?
Save it.
Flash. Oh, never mind. Never mind. He's going to stay, though. What is his help? So it's actually the trade. Victor's there. Oh, they actually don't get the double take. Cryo figures it out. What a play by XSET to thwart that little setup by Optic on Cat here. The XSET's been figuring it out. What they see at first glance, they now know is there's a trick behind it. Optic has been putting too many curveballs into each one of these strategies. XSET is very right to play it slow.
With all the time spent here, though, Ye has an opportunity to have a refresh off his TP. So repositioning back towards the flower pot and gets that headshot onto Cryo as well. Positions revealed, but there you go. The TP's available for them to go back towards the garden.
30 seconds.
Second is going to try to win that duel, and it doesn't work out. Ye has been a soul man soldier up on Kawak with the hold, and finally it turns out into a bad peek back into tree, and that's the spike back in hands of BCJ for a plant.
Oh, the rotations now from tree.
Spike planted. One
Marv
enemy
comes in
remaining.
at Jenny. FNS on the other end.
They don't know.
Oh, the timing on all of this. I think
Saw
they
the
just
gun.
spotted Aaron. Yeah, they pinged it. But Aaron still gets the kill. Runs back into the garden and crashes, gets the kill right after the pings. And it's still going to be Optic winning that round again from just great anchor play from Ye on Catwalk.
You could see in his mind, Aaron thought for sure there was going to be a big flanker, and one had already dropped into sight, but everybody comes from the front. This early play here. And then, again, so they have the first setup, and then the second layer of the setup is that Ye is then behind KO, right? Play in front first, then behind for Victor's flash. So neat little setup there. XSET did thwart it, but Optic grabbed the round, and they're finally showing us a little bit of that Optic prowess here at 7-1 on Ascent. See if they keep this one going. They have been prowling out of B main to start from the side of Optic, and then FNS just books it. He says, all right, I'm done here. And they can work different parts of the map, and you already see that rotation happening now as they go back to a little bit of mid security, because that's what XSET's going to play for this time.
Spike is so far back too here, Riv, and we're droning against the mid control, and the tag comes in though on the defense side. Finesse realizes that he can't wallbang that because Def is holding back behind the fridge. And with that though, we've actually made it up on Kench bench to take control of mid for a bit on XSET for now.
Yay. No one's wine, by the way. So you can see the focus right now. The lean from Optic already has the number of XSET. This is what's making it so difficult is so while they're avoiding Ye, Ye's getting space. And he's saying, well, this is exactly what we're working with. You give Optic an inch, they take a mile. They've already set up so much initiator util to just be a brick wall if XSET tries to hit this, right? You're going to get seized, you're going to get flashed, you're going to get zero-pointed. It stops everything that they want to do to follow up on the chaos of cryo typing in.
30 seconds left.
And it's going to be meant to be as soon as they break this trap now, and they're going to try to close in for XSET off a KJ ult 2. And Victor's just going to try to hold it back.
Oh my gosh.
Nice little nightfall here from FNS2, and it was actually a lineup for the Fragment to stop that KJ ult. So that's going to foil the plans of XSET moving into the site. There's 10 seconds left, and we're just going to play hidden, run that clock down. And it's not going to work out too well. FNS is still in the back of the site. Now there's no time. We get the kill in, but somehow Aaron stays alive. And Marv, all he has to do is to survive, and he does so. Playing the patient game, and Optic put 8 onto the round, and it almost worked there, Riv. Until, again, time was of the essence for XSET.
Until your triple initiator utility comp just has everything to still throw at XSET. That looked like hell, right? Take the time XSET was getting in, the 5-10 seconds, and put it on then trying to plant, right? Take away that ultimate from Fade, take away the 0 point, the nades. That was such a delay from Optic set up there. Really nicely called. XSET, I feel like they're banging their head against the green wall right now and try to get to these sites, Van Silly. What do they do this
side there? The lineup from the KO knife is also trying to push a little bit of defense on that tree. Now we fight out towards the A main. Underhand flash where Victor just looked at the wrong angle on the pre-fire, and Aaron takes the upper hand on that duel, and it's going to be the one-player advantage for XSET. Regrouping back towards the mid. BCJ picking up the spike to lean towards A, where now it's up to Crashies to hold down on his own. Lauren bot, pre-fired shot, misses from Aaron, but you saw that paranoia and shock dart onto the ground as a debuff comes in, and now we've opened up the site for XSET. Yay! Almost lands the operator shot, but it's going to be BCJ that shot-it stepped away, so yeah, maybe sometimes those shot-it steps work. And FNS is on his own, 4 versus 1. He's just getting sprayed through the smoke to know exactly where he's at. Not pushing in from behind. We're just making sure that we're protecting the spike, and that's XSET finally with a round on the board.
Clean, night and day difference from their previous rounds, right? One way to identify that is Optic did not have all the information they usually do to work with. XSET set up for the hit, they hit. Right? It wasn't Ye saying, oh, there's somebody here, we can lean towards A. Everything happened at once there, and XSET was really able to take control of the round. They can keep kind of executing like that, staying in the shadows, right? But knowing they're not giving OPTIC too much space is, I think, the key to the last 2 rounds here. OPTIC has been so good at just sussing out what the XSET play is and having the right numbers at the right site. Prowler outside B main.
Did somebody call my name?
Did. 3-2 split, 4-1 split actually. We see it back to Aaron being the flank. A little bit of check on from the shadows as they go back to default.
Allows Death to take control up here, but look at where Marv is at. Finally, the turret spots him, and Aaron comes in from behind. As we tried to go very aggressive for OPTIC, it finally gets punished by XSET. But they haven't taken too much ground control. Yeah, they have mid, but Catwalk's under control. FNS also has control of long B. Still has a C's to work with if he's getting pushed in. And XSET trying to go back for a mid to B. Now as he's going to get tagged. FNS is going to get dropped. Knifed in towards a spawn that also spots Crashies, and we have XSET moving into the site finally, and finally it's a clean take too.
Yeah, another one towards the other side of the map. I feel like they were going to have a little bit more trouble this time. Did not. They actually patiently wait, bring a 2 and 2 after they lose cryo. They just put 2 B main, 2 mid. Nice structured strat. As long as you can overpower the classics or maybe a sheriff, you'll be seeing this round from the side of OPTIC, you'll be good. So just smart play. They know they should be able to get this. I mean, you start giving OPTIC too much credit on these rounds, and nothing's going to be fun for you. Quick push in. Crashies playing with fire. And it looks hot. Aaron gets a 3K on that one, and they look to bring it up to 8-4 here. OPTIC are going to have a buy for this last round. We're going to have Def's ultimate most likely coming online, and they can try and put this lockdown somewhere. No one can really destroy it on the side of OPTIC. So let's see how they talk about defending this one and what the play might be.
Yeah, and it may look like it's a timeout that's not needed with the way that OPTIC's been playing the first half so far, Riv, but you could definitely see XSET, they were able to pull something out there and work out towards finally winning fights on mid, taking a little bit more than mid on Pizza, but also the extremity duels that Valen has put a lot of emphasis on.
Yeah.
That XSET's able to capitalize with.
And it's been a team effort, right? You still have Cryo diving in to make these plays. You can never look at a scoreboard and be like, oh, wow, they're not fragging. I mean, the most that's going to mean is ults might come up a little bit later. That could be the last person that saved the round, right? The last person that's alive or the person that's initiating in. And that's what XSET has been using to get in these games. Look at Zekin. Zekin is up there at 13-7 right now. And that's because of all this utility flying over the top of the team. It's just been OPTIC able to choose the right sites to defend. Both teams are playing super well. You just give it to OPTIC here because they are nailing those shots. And it seems like it took a bit for this series as they were to come online. But it seems like they're hitting their stride now, and this is the OPTIC we're used to seeing.
Important ultimates now. Hunter's Fury and Lockdown on the attack, but a KO ult from Victor could stop all of that. It looks to be an A-side lean for XSET to take early control of A main.
Sick dart, bro. Sick dart.
Let's say it's to clear the front side. It's to clear front long.
I mean, it looked like it could have been something to ult for, maybe, if it hit right on tree. They aren't able to aim up quick enough. You move Victor off of that. So the ultimate's still there for Zekin. They don't get an initial play out of this round like they wanted to. Just a little drone kill here by Def as he's making the calls, letting them know where to be placing themselves right now. I wonder if they go back mid for a moment to keep this turret active, or they just kind of leave everything the way it is and 5-hit B. It'll be the first time.
We talk about cycling the utility available for the initiators too. So there's that recon dart that's still available for Crashies. FNS has his haunt, and now the 0 point just came up too. The 0 point's across the map, so that's not going to help. Now you have the lockdown coming in on the attack, but that's just to clear out towards market. And FNS just pings so many players that allows 2 players to fall for XSET. And as the lockdown's about to come out, we still have a line of defense towards the back of the site, and that's Crashies. A high-low drop that allows Cryo to get the kill. And we have a plant that's safe. but there's 10 HP remaining for Cryo. Fragmenting coming down onto default. And now Ye onto the sidewalk, making it now a 2 versus 1 as BCJ answers back. 5 seconds left, 32 HP. Victor running forward. And a drop in, Victor gets the kill. They'll come in now for the defuse, and this was looking pretty good for OPTIC, and XSET started to mount the comeback, but it's not good enough. OPTIC now in the lead, another 9-3 scoreline as we head to the break. We're almost seeing a repeat of Ascent from OPTIC and XSET. Again, silver lining is that XSET was able to get 1 round more than intended the last time that these two teams faced off against each other. So we'll see what happens now as OPTIC takes the attacker side. Can now the duo of Def and BCJ holding the A site close the gap and come back into the second half?
Right, I love that you mentioned that. The second half was 10-2, right? OPTIC only get those 2. Our first half was 9-3. Do we get a bit of a dark side history repeats itself? Can XSET flip the script here? OPTIC Victor says, no sir, we'll start off and make it a 5v4 in our favor. Marv is just about on his deathbed though, so this does become a difficult round, but having that controller still is huge for the attack.
You definitely need him to stay alive if you need to get those smokes out, and thankfully he's playing Astra, so he could do it from a very safe place, but you can definitely see that he's moving forward with Crashy so they could retake control of A main. One-way smokes continue to come up here for BCJ. As with that one-way being refreshed, we're running back towards the B site, where Aaron's pushing forward with a frenzy. Around the corner, gets instantly headshotted now by FNS, as they're now going to try to just run it in towards B site. Zekin's rotated across towards the stairs. Haunt also to clear out logs. And Zekin, what can you do? Here's the footsteps, the first drop. The lean towards the back. The right clicks does a bit of damage. But it's still Victor, though, that trades off the kill, and it will be a plant coming in for OPTIC on a 4 versus 2.
30 seconds left.
Overall, smart play by OPTIC. I mean, think about how XSET has played their pistol rounds on defense. Just hold this thought for a second as they dive in.
To their death.
Too. We think about how OPTIC has played their defense. I'm sorry, XSET has played their defense, and it's been retake on most of the pistol rounds, right? They allow the site to be taken, and then they'll be flanking. Great job by OPTIC to hit B main, reset a little bit, and then look for that person that would be flanking for XSET's retake at the end of the round. So playing into XSET's kind of conditioning over the maps of the series instead of what they're just seeing in one game. A nice job by OPTIC there, as they pull off a pistol round for themselves and look to close this one out pretty quick and bring us to a map 5.
And we want to go quick into the entrance of B main too. A little bit of shock darts coming out from Zekin as well. Does a bit of damage, but it's still going to be the turret taken down. Aaron holding towards logs as XSET go for a 4-player stack with their eco on B.
Yeah.
We're deciding otherwise now for OPTIC.
Teleport ready.
The 3 push. Aaron clears 1. Bit of damage on Victor too. They've peppered. Gonna get out of here.
The crazy part is that it's a 3-player push and you'll only get 1 person with a classic to win that fight. Well, a little bit of tree control at least to start things off, and that was a nice paranoia from BCJ to push 1 away. But as he TPs back towards the entrance of the door, Crashy's actually lurked up to be able to kill him with the Spectre. Right click's about to come in. Nope, just left click's needed. Ye's about to fall down. Oh my god, man. Zekin's going to work with his classic. And now we're going classic to classic.
30 seconds left.
Low HP is Zekin. No flank coming in though, but Crashy's the one that's just holding everybody down towards mid as we get the plant inside B. But that is a Spectre that get picked up by XSET here, Riv.
I might question why my man switched to the classic there, but we are continuing with the round. Marv doing as he does, always good for 2 on the board, and it just becomes ducks in a row here. OPTIC start firing. Photos at B. Yeah, Crashy's kind of playing with his food there. Mid he peeks, shoots the dart with a Spectre, and then says, classic v classic, let's go. You're just like, wait, what? What is this? Cheeky little play there. OPTIC at 11 now here as we get into round 15. Vandals there to be used as well.
Yeah, XSET we're just desperate to look for weapons now that were left behind towards mid and entrance of B. Now we have OPTIC at 11. where winning that pistol was super important right now for the team that I speak of, as it allows them to close this 4th map, and we will see a 5-map grand finals. And again, the same routine comes in. It's almost like a repeat of Bind. What happens on Bind? 2 players working towards the orb at showers, pick it up. This time, you're always getting this Prowler inside B, and we're fighting at least for that control to not allow Aaron to have any setups at the beginning of the round.
Where's the star reset? Recall for a star on what was the window over towards A. So it looks like they are going to be setting up here to get something pushed. The setup in mid. It's something that OPTIC has continued to take. They find somebody at Archway. They find somebody here on the catwalk. They've taken about a minute each time to scope out this area now. XSET's going to be in position, though, to guard. Still on the front line of A. You didn't even push him forward.
Zekin, though, gets the kill onto Victor. This is towards the B side. As a spike was also there, we're trying to sell a fake towards A, but nobody's rotating from
30
XSET.
seconds left.
But what I really like here from OPTIC is that we've made it through guarding. We're trying to break the rotation, so we're trying to get a flank on Heaven too. This should be the kill for Ye, and he does take the upper hand. As players are now taking control of A site, we do have BCJ in Hell. It's a big position here, but the rest of OPTIC are now pushing back towards the B site. But there's still players there. There's still Aaron inside the site. There's 6 seconds left on the clock. He's on the sidewalk. The plant's now coming in. He gets the kill. They won the round thanks to that. XSET puts 4 onto the board.
Whoa. XSET hiding in the woodwork to win a round. Literally waiting for OPTIC to come in, setting not even trap plays, but little personal traps to make sure they could at least get one, play the time, play the momentum of the round. And it's, I said it a little bit in the last game, it's that the series has kind of turned into OPTIC dictating what's happening. XSET having to play OPTIC's game there. XSET said, you know what? We'll play our game as much as we can and just chill back. Run into our crosshairs. Hey, it was a round they needed.
Now the same type of utility gets dropped here towards B, and what I've really liked at least from that last round from OPTIC, despite them losing it on time, is that the last time that they played against XSET, they didn't really capitalize on Catwalk that much. And you have a triple initiator setup, right? You have Owl Drone to try to push away, the KO and the Omen outside a tree. Yeah. You have Prowlers that can work things out. You have Haunts that can get thrown into Garden. And there you go. Now they're working back towards this Catwalk with the Owl Drone. It gets stopped at least by the KO knife, but they still have more utility that they can re-clear towards A. So I like that you're adding more pressure into BCJ and Def right now. With that, though, still a fake for OPTIC to try to take mid-control.
XSET again, setting back. I mean, that's also a thing they talked about on the desk, is not giving up those frags just as much, but the positioning is getting scary. Oh, the double kill from Aaron.
The lineup, and you still have Zekin in the back of the side. He gets spotted by a Prowler, though. Prowler's running out! Through the smoke, he gets traded at least, but that still means that you have Zekin alive in the back of the site. One person is down, and just suddenly like that, all the duels have been won at different parts of the map, and that's XSET with a solid hold on B.
No buy? Low buy? 2 all marved. Ye's 2 away, so it doesn't really work to save and push. But this round, absolutely incredible. Keep praising Aaron for these. The spin, the turn, yeah, the timing definitely in favor of XSET on that round. They're going to need more than just timing, though. OPTIC still on a run here. Vandal going to be a hero play for Marv. He'll be alive. He'll be smoking. He'll be the last one to make sure this clutch goes down. That's the idea. XSET setting up with an operator.
And that's
Marv
already down.
Vandal down.
Yep. Vandal down, but the Sheriff still gets the headshot onto Aaron, at least for a couple of battles inside.
There it is.
B. Just going for the lean and crash. He actually wins that somehow. But they've lost more players towards B. Ye has a good timing here. BCJ wants to overcommit on 3 with a TP. Not fast enough. BCJ has the faster reaction time. Shock dart on the ground. Sova action as a flank coming in, and a really nice flash actually coming out from depth to allow for Zekin to stay alive and XSET to claw back into this game on a defender half.
As an operator coming over. That gets dropped down for XSET. That goes to Cryo. We've kind of been waiting for him to come online in the sense that those ultimates are being strung together, that the chaos he's creating is also respected by OPTIC. Because if you think about a lot of the jets or I would say chambers as well that create a forward position, if you are getting successful pushes, you demand much more respect from your opponent, right? They're pressuring much more to make them react differently. So Cryo needs that to come online now with the operator, and hand Blade Storm there as well. And they're trying to post up for this mid area. The 0 points just flying left and right here towards Long A.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be an opportunity with a refresh to start re-hitting back towards the A site. But FNS with the Nightfall that he currently has is trying to move it towards B. They also have a Cosmic Divide. This could be an all-out here towards this B site. Turret is going to allow a couple of players from XSET to rotate over, and that is going to be Zekin in the back of mid. As we're inching in now towards the entrance.
Out of
May start happening here. Orb about to get picked up too. Crashes is one away from the Hunter's Fury with that. And Cryo. He's got a good spot here. He actually has good control of B-Link.
Mid as well with the alarm bot on, it's going to be fine. They know it's going to have to be a hit somewhere, and this is letting them know it's probably going to be at B. No hit has come through yet. You get the up the gut. Hunter's Fury stops things, and on the other side of the map, the extremities played by Ye, but Def cleans it up.
And everybody from OPTIC is actually rotating towards there. So the players are now playing on A side very passively in the back of Jenny and Heaven. Lockdown also secures the fact that the hit's going to be going towards A, and Cryo and Def are holding it in. Crashy's trying to get the plant down as he does get support here. What a dart coming out, but a outshot misses. The wall bang come out from Heaven from Zekin though, and that's Zekin with the right click in the end. Man, we're having so many rounds from both of these teams where it comes down to 10-second attempts for plants, and it gets messy.
I want to touch on that, because XSET has almost forced those to happen recently. Like I said, OPTIC was making XSET play their game. XSET was kind of being pulled left and right. It would be a one-and-done situation because they got diffused from their early round strategy. Now, XSET is setting a bit of pace. Cryo rotating back and forth, having different positions. Here, they collapse so quick. And what you were saying, they're delaying OPTIC. They're making these become pressure rounds now, 4 in a row here for XSET. And we said, this is very reminiscent with a dark flip of the first time they were on this, right? It was a 9-3 first half in favor of XSET, switched around 10-2 as the second half came around. Well, there's the 2 rounds for OPTIC. Does XSET have 10 in them is the question. It's a tall task for them to come through, but with the operator now in the hands of Cryo, a bit of that strategy they want is online, fans.
Now as this timeout finishes here, yeah, we have a couple of ults online, including the Double False here for Ye. Who's looking to maybe potentially battle it towards the B-Link over to Cat. Or maybe that could be an opportunity to open it up there.
Let's play.
Decides to go back towards Long B instead. Prowler early into the round, forcing out the KO knife from Def. As we're just playing extremity control, at least for OPTIC, who are able to at least get the orb.
Yeah, and same setup from XSET. As you see OPTIC making sure they get themselves advantages for those orbs. The pick. Ooh, this actually delivers a lot of information to OPTIC and definitely increases their chances to get closer and closer to that operator. Cryo now has to reposition. They set up a bit of what we saw with OPTIC here with the KO and the chamber. Now just a different setup with Omen. Second one counts.
Nice shot there. And BCJ playing on the other end of the flower pot. Ye misses the shot. Very unorthodox of him to actually miss those kind of shots. Could have maybe helped out the last 2 players moving inside the A main. But it's not. A Prime Gaming flawless and XSET, as we mentioned before, they're closing the gap now on their defense.
A lot of the players had 1750 in credits there for OPTIC, which means on the 29 full loss. They should be able to buy here, so we should see another round out of OPTIC, but OPTIC was in great positions there. XSET reading the plays. We saw that spawn kill coming in, just very smart, thinking about the flanks. Once the alarm bots and whatnot were taken out for OPTIC to encroach onto the defensive side. Here we are into one of the, I'd say final gun rounds for OPTIC, but close to it. They are not going to be able to buy next round if they lose this.
Oh. I thought they'd be able to get the knife, and it was able to get deployed here from Death that actually suppresses 2 players at least. But thankfully, the orb still in favor of OPTIC. Meanwhile, though, fighting towards the B side, Cryo already activated the Tailwind.
Just eats it.
Just trying to get one of those, when the chamber gets tagged, trying to go for a kill and TP away, doing the same thing with the dash. Nice underhand by Death. A change of pace, at least for XSET, that haven't really been doing that too much on the catwalk.
Right, that's been the slow play by Cryo. Ye wanted to find a 1v1 dry right there, or at least with util over the shoulder that wasn't set up yet. What a read from XSET to hard play Cat this round. Holy moly, they are setting themselves up so well. 40 seconds, again, another round where it looks like OPTIC could be pushed down to the timer, and Victor comes up with a huge kill on Cryo.
And that's twice. First, Crashies, now Victor, going with the shoulder peek that unfortunately Cryo can't react fast enough. And the KO ult allows FNS to get the kill of Death pushing on a rotate. So we're going to rotate back towards the A site, but BCJ, the other line of defense, watching. He's just so aware into this round. He's able to get 2 more kills. 1 more to go into this round, and that's going to be Crashies moving in for a plant. A 3 versus 1. Door has already been broken, so he has to fight back somewhere. And it's going to be towards tree. Clearing out towards the tree and going back in the back of the generator. We still have a paranoia available for BCJ. Smoking out a main, a TP into Jenny, and he full sticks it. He full sticked on to the from the shadows, the paranoia, and then the kill. This man has reawoken now on the second half of Ascent, and this is going to get dangerous now for OPTIC.
BCJ played perfectly in that chaos there. I feel like that call as well might have been a slight miscommunication from OPTIC, because it's an easy call that BCJ is tree. But I feel like that's also window-ish, but also push towards spawn, so you don't have to look at that yet. They back up into what they think is tree, right? Victor was looking the right way, but this situation just was a second off for them. Throw your hands in the air like you don't care. BCJ. So many good rounds here. The team is coming together well, and XSET picked apart that round. Really nice, too. They were able to get 2 of their own frags after losing Ye, due to a mid push and whatnot, but XSET recover really well there.
You talked about those situations where OPTIC, the money is running low. One of the few gun rounds left here,
So
potentially
low.
in the map, as they're forced on a broken buy once again. Ye does have a Vandal to work with, but they have been able to capitalize on good mid-takes with rifles, which is why Ye's moving forward in that area, trying to see if they can push Cryo on a rotate back on the back of middle. Meanwhile, though, we have a fight towards A main. We forced out the KO ult, and Ye's still pushing forward towards mid. It's going to stay quiet here, Riv.
Yeah, super slow plays. You see they switched over Cryo to B. He's got the operator there. Neat little molly, see the 0 point. Neat little molly too. You already see one is thrown in B main. A lot of times as that lands at the opponent's feet, that'll be shot. So it's kind of like an indicator early. No one's there right away. Molly gets the chill. You can use it for later. You see the rotation now coming over.
It's Ye.
30
XSET
seconds
start
left.
to lean. Whoa,
Just
he's in
hiding
the
in
right
that
spot.
smoke. He's going to
So
ping it out
much
here.
fans.
Yeah, but look at this. Crowd is waiting as they thought it was an opening here for OPTIC to get into market the B site. It's waited by an operator and a prime giving flawless from XSET.
This is like hide and seek for OPTIC. They want to find someone so damn bad in these rounds. They're all the way up mid, still nothing. And it becomes a flawless too with all of that space taken. What the hell? Like, the way XSET has started to receive the second half of this is incredible. absolutely figuring out what XSET wants in those first peaks, first contacts, and giving them none of it. They are literally online to get the 10-2 and do exactly what OPTIC did to XSET in the first meeting on Ascent in that upper final.
Now we have 5 players originally stacked up for OPTIC inside B main. Owl Drone, we might go back to the basics. To have the Owl Drone out towards mid, try to take control of that on mid as well, break the alarm button and figure out what we want to do. But every single time now, as nobody's been trying to fight back towards mid, the late rounds of trying to split inside tree or inside B has been denied. So
the paranoia.
Yeah, exactly. XSET is just so happy to give away mid against OPTIC because OPTIC's just running into that trap of them anchoring the way that they did. And the paranoia allowed Zekin to get an off angle and to get 2 kills right there, leaving 1 player right now in these towards Pizza. That's Crashies. The underhand throw doesn't work out, but at least BCJ goes out for the trade. We're 2 kills away of tying things up here, and that's BCJ making it 1 kill away. Ye's on him, is on his own rather. He tried to sneak back towards the spawn, walks back up the staircase. There's a smoke. Oh my god, this is so difficult. There's 30 seconds left. Are you going to try to do the heroic play or save your rifle because you know the economy's low? I mean, look at it. He's got 600 credits left to his name. There's only 22 seconds for him to try to pick up the spike as it's down out in the open. It's the Bermuda Triangle for XSET. You walk in that, it's a trap. You're swimming out of it at least for a bit. And that's BCJ that sinks you in. That's now 11-11. XSET has brought the game back into an interesting series.
I threw my hands in the air when this happened. How can that keep happening? For Aaron, for BCJ. Everybody on this squad is just getting collat kills left and right from map to map in this series on XSET. Holy crap, it has secured them so many rounds, fans, and they must be vibing off it. We've already seen the player cams and what it means. BCJ basically has a megaphone attached to him the whole time, just pumping everybody up here. Those frags as well, adding to the hype. Ping through the smoke! He double TP'd into a play like that? I can't. They are feeling it on XSET.
OPTIC now, these slow defaults hasn't been paying out, and then they're trying to go a little bit quicker here inside mid. That's a smoke. Oh, that's a timing on the recall. You could definitely see that they're starting to get flustered now for OPTIC.
This is exactly what you want to see from XSET. Going international, knowing that a team can come back from a deficit like that to almost pull 10 straight rounds into their favor after losing the first 2, bonus on. Absolutely incredible, and it shows how much XSET have been able to grow. They persevere over that consistency of OPTIC being able to weather the storm.
Oh my god.
BCJ again.
Even White Swing, he doesn't care, and he still wins those fights. And now Victor, though, is trying to at least get something done for OPTIC. As the spike is down towards Garden. He's got 21 HP to his name. Here's the updraft, and Crowell gets the kill.
And silly.
Wow. Map point, series point for XSET. Didn't think I was going to say this on this map.
OPTIC has the international trophy. Oh, how they would like the one at home. But XSET does not want that to happen, and they are 1 round away from hoisting that opportunity right here to be the first seed of NA to head to Copenhagen. Already locked in their spot. International power, just the international buff is driving them, and they're not even there yet. Let's see if they can do it here. A final round to possibly take down OPTIC in a map pool they had no say in. XSET here on final point.
And Zekin's just going to go for an ult right off the rip. A counter coming back from Crashies.
Oh my god, Zekin.
And Zekin does connect onto the smoker. So that's no smokes now for OPTIC with a broken by, nothing left except the Nightfall that you hope that there's going to be something done with that. But it goes towards the site. So you still have 2 players that are unaffected towards Market.
3 more.
And that's Aaron. Yes! Ye and Crashies now trying to win a 2 versus 4. Will it work out? Smokes are being thrown out towards the main. Total False comes out from the attackers too as Ye falls and Crashies on a 4 versus 1. It's not going to happen. Who better than BCJ to get the last 2 kills to put XSET as the VCT North America Stage 2 champions?
XSET riding high A squad that has always placed at the top of the table, finally able to take a step onto that upper podium here. #1 in NA as they head to Copenhagen. And it was so hard fought by the entire squad. We saw new looks. We saw them break through their own ceiling. Different agent compositions, a different XSET. And they repped the set here today, taking down OPTIC in 3-1 fashion. And again, in a map pool event, Silly, XSET had no say in.
What I love the most about what we currently see from XSET right now is a team that looks so good against FaZe yesterday, just off the back of Cryo going insane. Today, not as loud, still good, but you could definitely see the rest of the team definitely shown, and they shined. They showed how good they are, and they are one of the two that will definitely represent North America very well in Denmark, in Copenhagen. With that, it's time to go for a break and see what the analyst desk has to say right after. Congratulations to XSET.
Wow. Well, there you have it, folks. XSET are your Challengers champions after a miraculous comeback on Ascent, winning 13-11 and denying OPTIC any rounds after they secured the first two. Incredible stuff. Golden Boy here alongside with Mimi and Valen from the Guard one more time. And Valen, I want to get your reactions off of that, man, because I know you know I know you know all the players well, but I know you have a soft spot for the XSET boys. This has to be incredible to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that big shout out to XSET. Like, they played phenomenal. The defense that they just showed on Ascent was some of the best defense with that comp I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
They had a lot of traps up top mid. They weren't giving OPTIC any free space. It was beautiful to watch.
It just seemed like it was going to fall apart for them, and we were destined to go to a Game 5, Mimi. But here we are. Stranger things have definitely happened.
Yeah, and I mean, credit to all of these players, but specifically to Zekken and to BCJ, playing on new roles on this map. Both of them were farming, particularly in that second half. Zekken on the Sova, BCJ on that Omen, so good in the early round, clutching things out. OPTIC, it didn't feel like they had a moment to breathe after that conversion of the pistol.
Yeah, and here are some of the highlights from Zekken throughout the series. I mean, Valen, this guy put in the work today. They knew what was on the line. They played hard every single round. Not to say OPTIC didn't, they most definitely did. But, it feels like that the pace was even set on Fracture, that this was not going to be some ordinary game between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, XSET came out swinging. They're trying to win this. This just punched their ticket into champions. They don't even have to place top 8. Like, they're automatically in top 8 in Copenhagen, so they have the circuit points to go to champs. This was a huge match for them, and they came out and they played full confident. They had the stressful matches before, and they came out and they were just playing fluid. We saw Zekken being super aggressive, and he's playing great.
Yeah, sorry. And I mean, if yesterday was the day of Cryocells and him finding his career-defining game, today was that of Zekken. He was plus 40 across this series against the best team in the world, or at least the reigning champion in that regard, as he took them down. This guy was playing so many different roles. He has been so adaptable for the squad, and so many of these XSET players just coming into their own, finally claiming that throne that they have so long waited for.
Yeah. I mean, the proof is in the pudding right here. Plus 40 performance here for Zekken across a variety of roles. Probably one of the most versatile players on the... I mean, they're all really good, but versatile indeed for Zekken because he plays a wide variety of agents. Now, I know we do have some of those Prime Gaming highlights for you, but, as we talk about the entirety of the series, I kind of want to get into a bigger macro picture here, Valen, because this is going to be the second domestic championship denial for OPTIC, right? This is a squad that feels like they're the uncrowned kings in their own region, but yet they go to the global stage, they fix their mistakes, and they become even better.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of hard for OPTIC to stay at #1 in NA because all of the eyes are only on them. They're the best team in NA. They're always qualifying for the events. They're winning international events. So all the eyes are going to be on them, so people know how they play. Yeah. And for XSET, they were kind of coming out with new things, new comps, new little micro here and there, so they're less readable than OPTIC. But when OPTIC goes onto the international stage and they change their comps or they change their macro level play, they look unstoppable. So I don't think we saw 100% of what OPTIC can do, and I'm excited to see them come back in Copenhagen.
But at that same point, credit to XSET because OPTIC did come into this matchup with some composition changes. Those blind highlights were a great example. They pull out the neon, they do something new that I'm sure XSET was not expecting coming in towards this series, and they match that and they win those maps. That's so big out of XSET. Previously, whenever it's been a change for OPTIC, whenever it's been a rematch, OPTIC wins. But in this one, XSET takes the loss. They are the ones to come back, get the better of OPTIC. The first time that this team has lost lost in a rematch.
Yeah, it really startling, honestly, that, you know, in the way that OPTIC lost as well, I think, Valen, is very profound here because XSET gave them nothing in that defensive side. And you said it to me while we were watching a game in the back that this composition that they were rolling with on Ascent, if they just squeaked away a few rounds, and conveniently enough, they ended up in 9-3, you know, they would be able to walk away or potentially walk away with this. But I don't think anyone could have seen this happening like that.
Especially after the pistol round going down 11-3, I was not expecting that. And then they won out every single round. And I think it was off the back of Zekin. I mean, this guy hasn't played Sova for the team besides recently. Since he joined the team as a race player, as the duelist, all the way back to like almost a year ago now. Yeah. And he came out, started playing Sova back on Ascent and looking phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, the changes have been everything for XSET. So many great ideas coming out from this squad. And I think just holistically for this team, not only did they get their chance first to an international event yesterday, now they come back today, they qualify for another one, they claim the throne in NA. I mean, this is the biggest weekend in the history of XSET as an organization. I'm sure for all of these players individually, this is just, you cannot understate how massive it is.
I've been following the set for a while now. This is a monumental weekend for the organization. Actually, we'd have some of the reactions from people after the XSET win, because obviously, you know, we want to see the cheers. We want to see the excitement. We want to see BCJ popping off. I want to know if they put Baby in a closet, because it feels like he's in a closet here, Valen. Or a bathroom.
He's just in the corner of the team house. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
I remember watching the room tour. He has a room on the corner, so he might just be in his room.
Just be playing out on his own space.
I like that, because he's the loudest, you know. Just let him do his thing. Oh, man, but it's great to see the team celebrating like that. You know, you genuinely are so happy for those guys, and just what a road it has been for this team, Mimi. A squad that was one of the most consistent in the region, but known as the forever fourth place, the fourth place curse. They have done more to, you know, expel that than anyone could possibly imagine.
Yeah, I mean, for this team, every single change they make has elevated their game. They bring in a new player in Def and in Zekin just at the end of last year and are starting to frag with that, or a little before that, but regardless, they find the pickup at that point. Then they bring in cryocells to start things off. They have an improvement there. Then they bring in a new analyst to help out the coaching staff ahead of challengers too, and the improvements just continue. Yeah,
amazing stuff. Players' reactions here as well. A beautiful thing to see. Oopsies 3-1. That actually is the reaction, because at the end of the game, we all were just like, what? Like, we were really all confused. Like, how did OPTIC let that one get away from them here? But now, as we shift focus, I'm sure we'll talk about it more before or after rather the interview. But XSET on the global stage now is going to be very, very scary, Valen, for anyone to have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot more time to be able to prep for the teams now that they don't have to play groups. They automatically skip that. They go straight to the playoffs. So it gives them time to kind of relax, kind of get used to the international stage in Europe, watch the teams, and I think they're going to come out great. They always set a great game plan, and I don't think they'll do nothing less than that in Europe as well.
All right, well, we actually have one of the players standing by with us. I'll say goodbye to my analyst for the time being, because BCJ is standing by. I had to get this guy for an interview based off of the reactions for our Verizon post-match interview there. BCJ, congratulations, man. How does it feel? Look at you. Damn, you fine.
Go away.
What's up, baby? How you doing? You feeling good?
Oh man, it feels great. It feels great. Yeah, we really wanted this one, and we're ecstatic.
Yeah, I could tell just from your reactions, from the team itself. I mean, you guys have had such a journey up until this point. And it wasn't just in this tournament, but I think XSET as an organization, XSET as a team, the consistency. Firstly, you know, let's just talk about that Ascent game real fast. When you got 9-3 at the end of the half, did you feel like you had the potential for the comeback even after losing those 2 rounds in the half?
Oh, 100%. We started losing rounds on T, and we literally said to ourselves, we get 4 rounds here, we're going to win this game. And we ended up getting 3, but we knew that we were going to have a rough T. It's a rough T map. So we kind of expected a rough scoreline, and we were prepared mentally for that second half for sure.
And it also felt like you guys were prepared for Fracture as well. Did you have an inclination that OPTIC was going to go for that and try and put you in a bad situation, so you prepped a strat for it?
Well, yeah, obviously in the first time we played them, we banned Fracture against them, and now that they were the upper seed, upper final, they get both the bans, so we had no choice but to play it. And I think they saw that as well and picked it. But yeah, we're prepared on all maps, as you can see. We're prepared to take on the world champs. We're prepared to take on anyone, and we don't plan on slowing down.
Well, you know, regarding the world stage, you guys are going to be in a really interesting situation. Your friend Valen was in a similar situation last Masters, where beat OPTIC, go skip the group stages entirely, and it didn't end out the way that I'm sure he wanted it to go. And I'm sure he'll scold me for that later when he comes up on the desk. But how are you guys going to try and not fall into those potential pitfalls? Because getting an opportunity to play against these global teams in group stages, it could be very beneficial to you guys, considering this is the first time you're doing it.
Oh, to me, it's quite easy. It's 2 words, Zekin and Cryocells. I mean, no other team in the planet has those 2 players, and yeah, we're simply built different.
Built different, unless another team decides to like clone them or something. But I just don't know if the technology's there yet. You know?
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Man, I don't know if you know this, but you guys automatically qualify for champions because of that win.
Yeah, we were really excited to win this game for champs. That was pretty much the whole reason. Obviously, the playoffs is a big thing, but we just want to play on LAN. You know, we want to play as many LANs as we possibly can, and to represent the best region in the world. I mean, that's what we're here to do.
That's what's up. I love to see it, man. Any words of I guess worry for, or any words you want to give to the world stage players? Any words you want to give to the international teams out there? Because XSET, the floor is yours, baby. The shades are on. Do it up.
I got one thing to say, and one thing only. Rep the fucking set, baby! Let's go!
There it is. Rep the set all day. Hey, BCJ, congratulations, man. You guys earned it. It was a beautiful thing to see, and I can't wait to see what you guys do in Copenhagen. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you, Golden Boy.
Salute
Always a
to
pleasure.
you. Salute to you, my friend. All right, there's BCJ for your Verizon post-match interview. The man is literally a freaking legend. I can't curse. He can. Boy, would I have loved to there. And that's probably, I've done a few interviews in my career, guys. I would definitely say it was T2.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It's T2. All right, let's go on to our Aim Lab flick of the day because we had a lot of great plays in this series. But I think this one is, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it might just be pretty apropos to the situation. We'll pull it up in a moment here. But Valen, real quick before we get it. Oh, no, never mind. Don't worry about me. There it is. I believe, yes, this was going to be that play where Ye was just shredding everyone. BCJ just takes the fight, and then the flick right there, looks away, comes back in. BCJ was on fire today, Valen.
Yeah, he was. He was looking outstanding, especially on these supportive roles. He's not only fragging, but he's setting his team up in so many ways. There were multiple rounds where he was getting crucial information with his flashes, getting Cryocells back on a line by dogging or flashing an area. Just honestly an insane player today, and he deserves everything he's getting.
BCJ is just free content every
He
time
really
he
is.
appears on screen. But yeah,
You and I literally had the same thought because, Josie, one of our awesome producers, reaches out, says, okay, who do you want to interview?
BCJ.
And then I was like, BCJ. Then you came into the room and you're like, GB, you got to interview BCJ. I was like, right ahead of you,
Already
homie.
on it.
Right ahead of you.
He's so fun to get to watch. But yeah, the supportive line of XSET today was insane. Yesterday was very much defined by what Cryo could do to keep this team going against FaZe. Today it was Aaron, it was BCJ setting Zekin up for success. This team has depth. It's not a one-trick pony. It's not just Cryocells popping off, and those players are great, but everyone on XSET can do it. And yeah, I mean, I just want to see the big guy on the big stage. Can't wait to see him in Copenhagen.
He did say something interesting, though. I asked him about the team, right? He said, we have 2 things that no one else has, Zekin and Cryocells, Valen, and you have been singing their praises all weekend long. But one has to wonder, everyone knows that these players are the weapons here. So are you concerned that they're going to be just hard focused in this game and trying to maybe outstrat them because they know that they have to worry about Zekin and Cryocells?
I mean, for sure, when you're going against 2 phenomenal players, you have no choice but to prep for them specifically, not only for the team, but the 2 players to prop off. But there's one thing is, you can't you can't stop greatness. So if Zekin and Cryo are going to be great, you have to try to control them. But, you know, just like in the NBA, you got LeBron, like, he's always going to be dropping 30, but you can't let him get 50. So it's the same thing here. You know, Cryo is always going to be getting that 20, 25, but don't let him get that 35, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of just taming the players and not, you can never put a leash on two great players.
And again, I think as showed today, XSET, even if someone is having an off day, they have players who will step up and fill that void. Also, as evidenced by losing to OPTIC, rallying back here with some new ideas, new compositions in towards today, this team has the coaching staff, they have the brains behind them to make the switches, make the decisions, to make them very hard to prep against.
Yeah. The depth is unreal for XSET. But let's go ahead and recap how we got to this point. XSET are your challengers champions here for North America. And of course, a massive congratulations to all of the challengers winners across a variety of regions today. But that 3-1 victory for XSET sets them up beautifully as they will be representing North America in the first seed going into Copenhagen. But here is where things get interesting, because let's go ahead and circle through to our next graphic for the LCQ standings. And congratulations to the Guard. You guys got that first seed.
I'm in LCQ, baby. Let's go. First seed in LCQ. Shout out to XSET and OPTIC making it to champs. I didn't even want to go there. I wanted to go through LCQ first. I want the hard route, all right? I'm ready.
Let's earn it.
Oh, Matt. Mimi, LCQ is going to be incredible. Guard, FaZe Clan, Cloud9, LG, Energy, 100 Thieves, EG, even Sentinels, and they're getting 2 analyst people. So watch out.
They're hiring. They're hiring. Put in your applications.
I'm just excited for LCQ. It's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, I'm super hyped for it. We have some fantastic teams competing here, the best in North America, duking things out. It was just a bloodbath last stage, trying to find that final team to make things in. That's where we saw the magical run out of Rise. Which team is going to rise up, find that moment? Could it be you guys on Guard? Is FaZe going to make another run? Is the new C9 going to do something? Or even one of those lower-seeded teams come back strong? You don't know what to expect going in towards that tournament, so it's going to be super exciting to find that final North American spot.
You know what? I want to put Valen on the spot here. LCQ, you guys going into the first seed.
Okay.
All right. What any teams you're concerned about? What's the feeling for the squad? Like, you know, obviously you were hoping for FaZe to get the win, but there was a lot of circumstances that need to go in your favor. How you feeling about LCQ, man?
I mean, I'm feeling great. Like, if you look back at stage 1, we've beat some crazy teams. You know, with 3-0 to Cloud9. We've done unthinkable things before, so, you know, we're going to come back stronger. Shout out to all the fans. We're going to come back stronger. And, I mean, yeah, we're excited for LCQ. We needed some much-needed rest, and now, I mean, we just got to put the things together. Everyone's got to step up, and we're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you, man. Either way, I'm excited to check, you know, see the games. And yeah, I have to say, it has been a pleasure to have you here all weekend. You're more than welcome to join us anytime. Of course, I'd prefer you winning championships,
Thank you.
but you were absolutely stellar this weekend.
It was a pleasure
buddy.
to be on the desk with you two. You guys are both amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And Mimi, always a blast. High five. Woo. There we go.
Damn.
But that's a wrap for us here, baby. All right, Challengers is done. We now set our sights on Copenhagen for some of the best Valorant action the world has ever seen. We're going to have an audience. We're going to have some awesome talent there, from the teams to the players to the casters and hosts and everyone else. It is going to be a stupendous time, and we hope you join us there. And we thank you so much for joining us for this roller coaster of a weekend. Congratulations to XSET, your Challengers North America champions, but we'll see you next time in Copenhagen.